Hello, everyone!
Hello.
Hello!
Hello.
Oh my goodness. It's been a
Hello.
whole month since I've done this.
It's been quite some time.
It has
But
been
you know,
some
you
time.
can't rush things like that.
I cannot rush perfection. I simply cannot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh gee, I love your design. Thank you, Culture Chimp! Thank you! Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I see a lot of, are these some of these viewers, some of yours, I'm guessing?
Yeah, some of them I see Hibby, I see Prawning,
Hi,
I see Culture Chimp.
let me...
Hello, Hibby.
I want to say hi. Hi, Shroomper. Hi, Imagi. Hi, Boyle. Hi, Reezer. Hi, Ymir. Hi, Hibby. Hello, new time in chat. Culture Chip and Pronging? Is that how you say it?
Pronging.
Pronging.
Yeah, Pronging. Oh, and Crackpot Wizard, too.
Hi, Crackpot Wizard. I love that name. I love that
Yeah.
name. Hi, Oddball. Hello, everyone. So, for those who don't know me and don't know what this is, my name's Timothy Ankarusu. Nostalgic Chatter is a interview show that I do on my channel where I find any soul and I capture them in my basement and I make them talk about their childhood trauma to me.
Yeah, I have a lot to get off my chest. This is a therapy session.
Yeah, this is just becoming a therapy session.
Exactly. It all started when I was born.
But no, yeah, this is Nostalgic Chatter is basically a kind of like podcast or interview show where I find people, I bring them on here, and we talk about things that make us nostalgic, our childhoods, things just kind of, the past happened. Why not talk about it,
Yeah, exactly.
I love kidnapping. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know, Tim said that, I was found. I was not found. I was captured.
I kidnapped you.
I was, like, shot with a tranquilizer gun and dragged here. I don't even know where I am. I'm horribly dehydrated.
I'm sorry.
You should be sorry.
I kept you in my basement for a little too long. We were supposed to do this episode back in September, I think, but I got really busy with school, so I couldn't even have time to draw the stuff.
Wait, I've been out since September?
Sorry.
How is that why I'm so emaciated? What's going on here?
I mean, I threw like bags of chips down there sometimes.
I guess that's fine. I don't know. I guess I'm agreeing to do this because I'm partly delirious, but
Yeah, the only way you can get out of my basement is if you answer some questions.
Okay.
If for those who have not had the chance to, definitely go see Ape's channel. I'm gonna have this pinned so you can go over there to his side. Do you want to introduce yourself, though?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Ape, or Apeofthehour. I am a entertainer and a streamer and a video maker, and I do podcasts every once in a while, but I have not done one in a long time. But my videos, I do a lot of videos talking about video games that mostly video games, but I also talk about movies, but mostly video games that I really enjoy. A lot of them are from the past, and they're like games that, have been looked over, or not many people talk about them, or maybe they're like newly coming into public consciousness, and I want to give my thoughts on them. And a lot of my streams reflect that. I really stream a lot of like obscure games, either like indie titles or like retro titles. Very rarely do I play any like new games, but it depends.
Is it just like a very big interest of like that sort of retro style of a lot of the older games?
Yeah, I find like a lot of like newer like AAA games, I don't know, they don't capture me the same way as like older games do. I think maybe like the God of War games being the exception to that. Like a lot of, I don't know, like Last of Us, Uncharted, things like, I don't know. Oh, and Tomb Raider. I love me some Tomb Raider. But aside from God of War and Tomb Raider, those are like the only two that really, captured me. But yeah, like a lot of older God of War, a lot of like older titles I think really like captivate me, and more so it's like I feel guilty of not completing my backlog of games.
Do you just
So
have
I'm
a
like,
bunch
why
of
not?
Steam games on deck?
Yes. Far too much, far too many.
I don't think I've met anyone who has like really gone. I'm a victim of that too. I have a lot of games in my Steam library that I have just not touched. But I'm like,
Yeah.
excuse me, it's like, no, I'm going to stream this game. Yes, and then I just never stream it.
Exactly. It's just like, people go like, oh, you should try this game. It's good. I'm like, you know what? I really should. And then I buy it the day they mention it. I download it, and then it just sits on my desktop for probably the next couple of years. I remember the person in the chat, Hibby, from my birthday one year, got me Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. And that's been a very critically acclaimed game. A lot of people love that game. But he got it for like my 26th birthday, and not touch it until I was like 29. I put that game off for far too long.
Wait, how long was it? 3 years?
3 years, yeah. Something like that.
Oh my god.
I mean, I played it. I loved it. But, I didn't get around to it. I don't know why.
Oh my god. I need to do this thing where like I have to go through like some of the games because was it my partner was it one year I think it was Christmas, not last year, but like 2023 like 2022 I was talking to my partner because like the new Power Wash DLC around the time, like it was SpongeBob theme where you could clean SpongeBob's pineapple house, right? And I was talking about how much I wanted it, and then he bought it for me. But I didn't have the Power Wash of the game or the DLC, so he bought both of them for me. I was like, oh my god, yippee! And I didn't play it until like December of he did buy it for me 2022, and then I played it later in December of like 2023. And then I realized I can't play the fucking game at all because I get motion sickness when I play it.
Oh no, that's a shame.
So now, and I have like a bunch of fucking games in my Steam where I'm just thinking, it's like, which games gives me motion sickness and which ones don't? Because I think someone bought me like Doom, like the original Doom game, right?
Yeah.
And like they bought, I think either I bought it or someone else bought it for me. I can't remember for the life of me, but I have Doom. I tried playing it for a stream because someone requested me to. And I couldn't get past many of the levels because I was getting so motion sick so quickly. So now I have a folder on my Steam that is just dedicated to games that make me motion sick. And I'm just like, well, that's cool.
There you go. At least you have that warning going in.
But the thing is, I don't know about the other games, though, so I have to, like, go through all of them eventually.
You have to play test them, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta play test them. Oh my god. But... no, yeah, I kidnapped you. I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Okay.
Oh my goodness,
I feel loopy enough to answer them honestly.
I removed the tranquilizer from you. You're recovering.
Yeah. It's slowly slowing.
I may have shot you with more than one. Now I realize.
Oh god. Is that why I can't feel my toes?
So question time, yippee!
Okay.
So, alright, Abe,
yes.
What would you define nostalgia to you? And this could be your own definition or from your own life experiences.
I mean, for me, nostalgia is a longing for the past. It's like a desire to either like relive or emulate past experiences that have held significance in your life. If I could get a little linguistic here,
go ahead.
The German word for nostalgia, another word for it is Heimwehsgefühl, which means like homesickness feeling.
How do you say that
And
again?
so it's Heimwehgefühl.
Gefühl. Are you part German?
No. Well, I mean, ethnically, yeah, but fun fact about Ape of the Hour, I've been studying German for over 12 years.
Really? Is it?
Yes.
Is there like a reason to it, or is it just like kind of for fun?
I thought it was cool. I really enjoy the language and the culture and
Okay.
things like that. And it was funny. I remember one day out of nowhere, I was responding to some like tweets that some friends of mine who are native German speakers, where I responded in German to them, and then both of them DM me at the same time, and they're like, "Where the fuck did you learn German? How do you know this? Like, how do you speak at that level of fluency? What are you playing at?"
Who are
even
you?
like I've even had like people like go like, "Hey Ape, I realize you're not an American citizen." I'm like, "No, I am. I just speak German too."
Like you can
You
only
know.
speak English and that's it. How dare you know another
Exactly.
language?
How dare I expand my vocabulary and knowledge of things? But but you know, it's like a feeling of homesickness that you want to relive. You know, the warm, cozy feelings of childhood or some early point in time. At least that's how I defined it.
Okay.
You know, you're sitting down on the edge of your bed or in a beanbag chair or something else, and you're playing games or watching television. You know, your mom's cooking dinner for you or something. You know, things like that. That's what I think.
Oh my goodness. No, yeah, that I've never that's a first though. I'm not much of a I don't know much about German or Germany, honestly.
Now you know.
That is a very beautiful like kind of like you said linguistic sort of description of nostalgia. Like
Yeah. Now you know.
now I know. I'm very curious.
And you can never let it down. You need one of those like redeems of like the star across the sky with the rainbows that says "The more you know."
Oh my god. Oh no, I gave my viewers like recently new toys to play with. They recently discovered how to gamble with their Twitch avatars.
Tim, why would you do that?
I didn't teach them that.
Why would you do that? Roulette time. See, now they're gonna be gambling at it.
They already are.
You only have yourself to blame. You enabled them.
They're already gambling addicts. Literally, like.
Let's go gambling. Oh dang it. Oh dang it. Oh dang it.
I started streaming again yesterday. I played Pokemon Leaf Green, and I brought back my stream avatars because I wanted to start using them again for more of my streams. I don't use them for these streams because I know that everyone in here will just start gambling. But they somehow figure out how to gamble with their ducks, their side ducks. So every so often I just see slot machines pop up from the bottom of my screen, and all my ducks are playing roulette tables.
Wow. Alright. All in on Red 31.
But it makes me curious. Do you know any other languages, or is German the one except the?
I mean, German's the one I have the most experience and fluency in. I took a semester of Spanish, and I took a semester of Japanese. The Spanish I retained pretty okay. The Japanese I retained close to none of. I think it's a much more challenging language, at least for me, being that English, German, and Spanish are all European languages, so they're of a somewhat similar. Somewhat. I say there are differences. Somewhat similar vocabulary and like grammatical structure. But
Japanese, it's like a whole
completely different.
It's a whole other like alphabet. So.
I spent the first month of the semester memorizing and writing and rewriting characters.
Yeah.
I did not have to do that for like German or Spanish. So.
That's because the characters are very different with like obviously between those two. I actually surprised some of my own viewers one time because was it? I'm actually part Russian, actually.
Oh, really? Cool.
I'm like part because of like I live with my mother who is Russian, and I'm able to read. I'm not very fluent in speech, but I'm able to read some Russian. So one time I had like a viewer come in and type in Russian, and I responded back to them, like answering their question, and everyone they were really excited for me to like speak back, and I was just like, oh my god, and everyone's like, Tim, you can read that? I'm just like, yeah.
There
Surprise.
I know like phrases, but I'm not very good in Russian, personally speaking. The only phrase I know probably is "Dobry вечер." That's because there's a person I follow who starts off her videos saying that. So.
No, that's understandable. Like I said, I only know a few. I read better than I like speak it then. But
and those are different facets of language. You know, like reading and listening are like passive, while like speaking and writing are more active, and people can be stronger in certain parts than others.
I always find like I always enjoyed like I admire people who are able to like speak or like are bilingual or like even beyond bilingual because like I with every language everything is like different about it, and it's so admirable, and like it's fun to learn new things. I tried learning Spanish during my college semester last year, actually. I retained some of it. I at least know it better than before.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I could. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I can understand that. At least, like for me, Spanish is at least from going from German to Spanish, because I had, when I took the semester of Spanish, at that point I had like 8 years of German behind my back. It was a lot easier of a transfer, because I'm like, okay, let's see, what are the verb conjugations, where do I put adjectives, what are adjective endings here, what kind of articles does this use, you know, like things like that. But you know, for a complete novice, you know, I imagine you'd be like, what the hell is this?
Oh my god.
What the hell is L? What is la?
What is law?
What is la? What is ustedes?
What did you say? Oh my god. I had some issues with like learning Spanish, at least in the beginning. Like I don't know if you had this thing where like when you try to learn any of the languages you try to learn, probably maybe German's the least likely because you're the like it's like your strong suit with it. But like learning like Japanese or Spanish, for example, for me when I was learning like Spanish, if I was like learning the phrases and learning like, maybe it's because I was like in a college class that makes it different than like trying to learn it naturally, because like I'll learn the things I need for the test, but by the time I'm done with that chapter, I forget everything.
Yeah. Exactly. Like for as far as it goes with like I know this is a tangent upon a tangent upon a tangent.
No, you're fine.
As far as like language learning goes, it's very much like you have to use it in context, or you run the risk of losing it. For me, when I was learning German, because actually a little bit of backstory here.
Oh boy.
I took German for the first time in my junior year in high school, but I wanted to take it since my freshman year. However, there were like scheduling conflicts, and my counselor just fucking hated German for some reason. I don't know what. She didn't want me to take it. She like, I don't think it would be useful. You should take like pre-calculus or something. And I'm like, absolutely not. But in that time, like before I was able to take German, I had put it upon myself to listen to German music every single day for like probably those next two years. I mean, I listened to other artists, of course, but I made it a point there I'd at least listen to some of it. And I remember I was really into Uh, Probably a lot of people have heard of this band, Rammstein. They're a German metal band. Very, very popular, especially among Americans learning German. And at the time, they had a lot of they're like huge. They had a ton of fan sites and things like that. Like there's like a fan site called Affenknecht or Herzeleid, and they would people would put their lyrics up on like for you to see, and then put them side by side by like English translations of the lyrics. So I'd like put those up, listen to the song, and then go through trying to connect the dots, and it like really helped me, I think, where I could pick out like words and how things are pronounced. So much so that when I finally took German in high school, I aced every single test. I like had a straight A, and then I took second year and passed every single test. And my my German teacher, even like in another life, Ape of the Hour was German, I think. So it really helped me quite a bit. I find
that
like
sounds really helpful, actually. Just like good.
yeah, if you and like listening is like one part of it that can really help you with like structures and like pronunciation, things like that. But also there's a little bit you have to do like conversation, I think.
Right. Yeah, because like I think it'll be very quick to forget the language you're trying to learn if you don't like essentially have someone to kind of like really learn it with.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's fascinating though. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm already learning so much about you.
There you go. Your brain is getting bigger too.
I learned so much about that's the fun thing about doing these interviews. I get to learn so much about new people and
by the end of the stream you're gonna look like Mojo Jojo. You okay?
Because there's two thoughts that cross my mind. Am I gonna become like a monkey like Mojo, or am I gonna be a big brain like Mojo?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, let's expand my brain more by asking you another question then.
Alright.
Was there any children's media that you watched as a tot that you think would be impactful to kids nowadays in this growing generation? And I'll throw you a loop one with this one. Give me a positive impacting and a negative impacting one.
In terms of positive, positive impact on youth, my parents were very much of the mindset that they should create a enriching environment for their children.
Fair enough.
And so while I did watch, cartoons, like I loved Cartoon Network stuff and Nickelodeon stuff, especially Nickelodeon, but I also like Cartoon Network as well. I'd say a lot of the media I consumed as a kid was like educational. So like I loved things like Zaboomafoo and Jack Hanna and Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Amazing Animals, National Geographic's Really Wild Animals. There was a lot on animals. I think.
A lot of the animals.
A lot of stuff on animals, and I think that's really important today. I know that's kind of shifted into the YouTube sphere because I find like I have nieces and nephews, and I find a lot of the entertainment that they're watching, like the educational stuff, is really on YouTube nowadays. It's not really on major television, but that kind of like production value, making science and like knowledge fun, I think had a really big lasting impact on me, and I think that could be very helpful towards others, because I think one of the saddest things that a child can do is not be curious. I think if people are like I have everything figured out, I can't pursue anything else, although all the world is laid out at my fingertips, I think is like, man, you live a boring existence. You know, I think that's important to foster. In terms of like negative impact, I would have to say, I don't know.
I mean, it could
I'm
be
not
anything
entirely
you
sure.
think.
I mean, the thing that pops to my mind immediately, is not from my past.
Go ahead. It doesn't have to be from the past.
It's current and it's Cocomelon. I cannot put into words how much I despise.
I need to like have a
Cocomelon.
streak
Like,
one of these days.
Every time I see it, I feel like rage burning inside me, the likes of which could like destroy the entire universe. I despise it so much.
Did you know that Cocomelon has like a Nintendo game?
Oh my god.
It does.
Tim, why would you tell me that? I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
It exists. I don't know what the game is. I don't know what the game's about, but I've seen it.
It doesn't matter what the game's about. There's Cocomelon in it. Now have you ever seen? There's this artist that Hibby and I both like. His name's Nick Lutzko. He does like joking songs. He has a song about a ghost in a house. And a new family is moving into that house today. He's like, I can't wait to spook them. And then they come in, and it's the family from Cocomelon. And he's like, oh God, please, no. It's the family from Cocomelon. But I think the reason I despise Cocomelon so much is it's so vapid. And it just feels so like impersonal. It feels so lifeless. Like they'll sing, like I like my mom will sometimes put on Cocomelon songs for my nieces and nephews.
Oh.
And she's like, but they sing, they sing nursery rhymes and they sing, little songs. And I'm like, Mom, that's your job. You're their grandma. You gotta sing like songs with them. That'll build relationships, not songs sung by like these doll-eyed, flat-colored, like characters that were probably produced on a content farm somewhere in the darkest corners of the world.
Yes, rely on these like almost AI generated looking children to serenade to your children.
Even in that song from Nick Lutzko, Tim, he says they're singing nursery rhymes that seem like they're written by AI. Daddy jumping, yes, ha ha. Yes, yes, wow.
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 I've really
Please, Cocomelon.
I have not really ever like interacted with Cocomelon, honestly. Like I know of its existence. Yes.
Do yourself a favor.
Yes.
You need to block all content of Cocomelon off of YouTube. If you see anything like it, I need you to turn away from it. Not for my sake, for your own. Okay? I like you.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned about you. So I want to make sure that you're not exposed to harmful content.
I'm just like, imagine you're grabbing by the shoulders, just like, don't.
I'm grabbing you by the collar. I'm like, listen.
I've never seen anything of Cocomelon besides like, when people make memes about it. Like that's the only time I ever hear about it. Like the one song where it's like, it was a Daddy Day, yes, it was like, not Daddy Day, it was Johnny Johnny, yes Papa, eating sugar, no Papa, I've heard that.
Papa, telling the lies, no Papa, open your mouth, ha ha ha.
I've heard that in passing, but I've never seen the original. I don't know anything about Cocomelon. I don't know what his deal is, and
they just play nursery rhymes. That's it.
That's it?
They offer no educational content. It's just nursery rhymes.
I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
When I think of nursery rhymes, I was not a kid that grew up on nursery rhymes. At least I don't remember any nursery rhymes I was taught, honestly. Like,
I think of my hat that has three corners has my hat, and have it not three corners, then it is not my hat. Like things like that.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
Or there was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name.
Okay, yeah, that I've heard.
Yeah, things like that.
What's the hat thing though? What is that?
Oh,
what's that about?
My hat that has three corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a song about a kid that has a hat that has three corners.
What's the purpose of it though?
And then you gradually like remove words. So, like you clap at certain points. So it's like, let's replace the word hat with a clap. And it's like, my that has three corners has my, and have it not three corners, then it is not my. And then they go like, let's remove the three with a clap. And my that has corners.
I guess it's
something like that.
I guess it's to like help the brain like fill in the gaps or like remember.
I guess so. I don't know.
That's so strange. Just like that has three like what like. I
like Crackpot Wizard is like what?
I'm like that right now too. If this whole like interview show was like a live thing, like all live like camera stuff, you could see like my face I'm making. I'm just like, what? Like
Crackpot was. I went to go shower. Why are we talking about hats?
Because we're talking about nostalgia. That's why.
Yeah, we're talking about like children's songs, nursery rhymes, things like that.
Well, you brought up how much you hate Cocomelon, so I'm actually going to dive into that with my next question. What was something you hated or was disinterested in as a kid that you actually grew up to like in your adulthood?
Oh, that I grew to like it into adulthood. I used to not like Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Really?
Yeah, because the show was they were really mean spirited. Like the kids, admittedly,
yeah,
Eddie and those guys, Eddie Double D and Ed, they were grifters. But, the other kids didn't have to be so mean about it. They're like beating them up, slapping them silly. I think like one of the first times in television history that I like cried out of sympathy was when Eddie had like pissed off Rolf for some reason. And so Eddie and Rolf had to have this fight with like these two giant like mackerels, like these two big fishes on a log over like a chasm. And like they had to like smack each other in the face. And Eddie is like, it was just a prank, Rolf. And Rolf's like beating the ever-loving shit out of him. He's like, it was just a prank.
I love Ed, Edd n Eddy so much. I've been watching so long and just hearing that, I'm just like, yeah, that's Ed, Edd n Eddy, alright.
Yeah, but as I grew older, I found how absurd that show was. But and I think I liked it a lot more. But I remember I didn't like it. And my dad, I know, really didn't like it because he was like, "Man, those kids are assholes." But
oh my god,
yeah, I'd say that more than anything, I think Ed, Edd n Eddy was the one that probably had the biggest turnaround for me. I think for that reason, I'm not super nostalgic about it. But if it's like on TV, I'll watch it.
It's that one show that you just like, man, I could not watch this as a kid, but now you're just like, yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's not like I'm gonna turn it off and go like, ugh, cringe.
You're not gonna like wait the moment you see it, you're gonna get close to the screen. It's like, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this.
I hate this. I hate everything about it. This show's existence stands in direct opposition to mine.
This show is ruining my life.
I can't allow this to continue any further. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, well, let's. I guess like moving on from like hatred or like disinterest, let's move on to like favoritism. Essentially,
my life is just cold.
All right, Batman.
Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah. So, oh, even better leeway. Batman heroes. Who was your like cartoon or like movie hero as a kid? Whose adventure did you want to go on? Like Ash Ketchum or Harry Potter, for example.
You know, I loved. This was like my love for this series was like a candle flame. It came and it went. I love Dragon Ball Z. But in modernity, like as an adult, I'm like, I can't really get into it. I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm like not as invested as I was as a kid. And I think Goku was really cool. I wanted to be a Super Saiyan. What I find so funny, I've never really been into Pokemon. I can't really get into it. I hate to disappoint you.
I'm getting my Tranquilite. I'm getting the secret like gun.
Oh no,
emote.
God.
Oh, God.
But my older brother was obsessed with it. That was his shit. That was like his main thing. He loved Pokemon. And he would gloat. He's like, when I grow up, I want to be a Pokemon master. And I'm like, well, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a Super Saiyan. And he's like, that can't be. Super Saiyans aren't real. You can't do that. I'm like, well, neither are Pokemon. You know? So he would like be really mean about that. But I loved Goku. I loved Vegeta. And in terms of other heroes, I remember I was very much a DC kid. I was a very DC family, like Superman, Batman. But for me, I loved Green Lantern. Because I thought the idea of like all the power being concentrated in a ring was really cool. So that way, it's like, you know, I don't have to be able to fly. I can just put this on. You know? I don't have to do any hard work.
But what happens if you lose the ring?
Well, I guess I'm fucked. But, you know, I thought it's a cool thing. Like both, you know, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. Those were the two that I grew up with. I remember I even had a poster of like the Golden Age era Green Lantern, but I didn't like it because it wasn't the one that I was used to. And my poor parents, they had to hear me go, I don't want that one.
Also, it's really funny you bring up like you're like when you just said he's like, oh yeah, I used to like Dragon Ball, but not anymore. He's like, oh yeah, I don't like Pokemon either. I'm like slowly turning my head to like my Dragon Ball shelf, and then and I slowly turn my head the other way to like my shelf full of Pokemon stuff.
I'm sorry, I was a very weeby child, but I got over it.
It's so funny. I actually just started watching Dragon Ball like a little bit late into last year, honestly. Like I'm not done with it. I'm still in like Dragon Ball Z, or like I just entered the Android saga, like where we just meet Trunks.
Yeah, I like my friends are like a lot of my friends who are like diehard like Dragon Ball Z fans, and they're like, hey, Abe, you remember that time when like Frieza did this or Cell did that? I'm like, bro, I started in the Majin Buu saga. That was like,
how'd you start the Majin Buu saga? Hold on.
I just did. It was the one that was on TV at the time.
I mean, I guess that's fair. So like, you don't know a lot about like Dragon Ball, or?
No, I don't. I honestly don't. I didn't know that Piccolo was once an enemy. I didn't know that Vegeta was once an enemy. I was like, oh yeah, all these guys are friends. Yeah, that's fine.
I started watching like the original Dragon Ball when Goku was like a kid, and then like it then transversed into like Dragon Ball Z. I'm very invested in the series. Vegeta's not my favorite character. Totally, I say as I have a bunch of Vegeta stuff in my room.
Of course she is. I'm not calling anyone out here, but.
Oh my goodness. So, you would say like Goku is the one you would have wanted to be, right?
Yeah, probably Goku or I think I wanted to be Goku. My younger brother wanted to be Krillin. I don't know why he wanted to be Krillin.
I mean, Krillin's cool.
Krillin. Yeah.
I mean, he's bald. I mean, he grows hair later, so he's not bald forever.
What? Why? But I liked bald Krillin.
I mean, he grew hair because like he didn't need to be bald anymore. He got a wife, so like.
I'm sorry. It's funny, the idea. I needed to be bald. I cannot have any hair. It is detrimental to my superhero status.
Like, you must be bald.
I must be bald. I have to shave off every bit of hair off of my body. I have to be super aerodynamic, hydrodynamic. I gotta cut through the earth like a silver bullet.
Wait, you need to be bald or Krillin needs to be bald?
¿Por qué no los dos? I don't think anybody wants to see a shaved Ape of the Hour, though. I think that'd be extremely cursed. I don't think anyone would want to see that.
You're just like all the hair is gone. You're just.
If Ape of the Hour is shaved, I'd look like a Diglett. Man, that's a Diglett with sunglasses.
You probably look more like a Machoke, probably, just minus like the weird fins on the head.
Maybe. Although, like, gorillas do have like really big, they're like part of the skull. This is a fancy word for you. They're called zygomatic arches. So they look very fin-like.
Executor what?
Zygomatic arches. So they're like
zygomatic arches.
They're like these flat pieces of bone that like extend out from the skull. So it kind of makes their heads like hollow, which they use to like communicate, like because they have like very resonant, like kind of like things like that. So it helps that they have kind of like air pockets and things like that. Yeah, that's why it looks very fin-like. If you see a gorilla skulls are crazy. Look, I gotta tell you. Have you seen shaved chimps? Yes, I have. And it's a terrifying image.
It just shows a picture of like a baby photo of you.
No, how'd you get the?
Don't worry about it.
Good enough. All right, next question.
Next question before we start pulling up the baby pictures.
Please. The scientists said they wouldn't show that.
Okay, well, moving on from like heroes, let's go back to hatred then.
Okay.
Who was a character?
I can talk shit.
Who was a character you hated in a piece of media, and to this day, do you still hate them, and why?
Angelica Pickles.
That's the little girl
from the little girl from Rugrats. I hated her then. I hate her now. In fact, I think I hate her more. It's like it's gotten older.
But she's like a child, though.
I know she's a kid, but like, I'm sure there's like some explanation for her acting the way she does that elicits some sympathy. I'm not concerned with analyzing that further. She's just really mean, and I don't dig on that.
You're like the
she lies. She like torments them.
Well, yeah, because she's like a little fucking girl. What little girl doesn't do that?
I mean, my cousins and stuff like that were pretty nice. I guess I was blessed, but you know. But no, like she would like do things like make her uncle make her chocolate pudding at like 4 a.m. or like there's that whole episode where like she like put her father on trial, even though it was a bad dream that her dad had. She still like put him on trial. You know, and there are points where like Angelica has acted somewhat altruistically, but those are few and far between. And even in like the All Grown Up series, she's still mean. Like, like this is a character. You could say, oh, she was a little girl. You know, little girls. It carried over. Like, this is a common thread.
You're now like probably the second person I like know / seen that just hates a child from a kid's media.
Well, you know what? You can understand them all you want. You know, you can forget what people did. You can forget what people said, but you will never forget how they made you feel. And Angelica made me feel angry. Because, you know, I resonated with, like, Tommy and those guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and she was always, like, you know, such, like, a cog in their plans. Like, they're just, like, trying to have fun. They're trying to, you know, enjoy their afternoon, go on little adventures, you know. Like, you know, typical little kid. And she would go like, no, you're beholden to my will. And you can't do anything you want. And I think the fact that she could, like, communicate with adults made it worse. Because then she would, like, you know, try to twist what the babies wanted in her favor.
Right.
You know, things like that. I didn't like that. I didn't enjoy it.
I'm just so surprised. Like,
I mean, I'm not gonna listen. I wish no ill intent on Angelica. Let me make that perfectly clear.
Okay.
I just think she needs someone to talk to.
Okay.
And someone to steer her decisions in the right direction. I think she's misguided. I think she's like angry about something and she can't communicate it entirely, and she needs to talk about it with someone.
She needs a therapist, is what you're saying.
She needs a therapist.
She needs a therapist?
And she can't take it out on the kids. That's not fair to them.
I mean, yeah, fair. I mean, fair enough. I just,
I don't know. Like there are like other shows that have similar like characters to Angelica Pickles that don't steam me as much as she has.
Really? Okay.
Like Helga from Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
Is like, you know, the bully type character because she secretly likes him.
Right.
I liked Helga a lot more because they humanized her more. They like gave her like
a personality.
A personality. She was very multidimensional. She, you know, loved her sister. She was in a bad household, you know, and she loved Arnold and all of these other things. And that kind of like, I always think of the Christmas special where she helped one of the characters reconnect with his daughter after years of separation. You know, because she wanted to make Arnold happy, but ultimately she made the other guy especially happy. But she had like more dimensionality to her than Angelica did. Angelica was very like, I'm gonna be, you know, I wake up, I choose violence every single day. You know, I am perpetually on the wrong side of the bed, and I'm gonna make it everyone's problem. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It just, I was not expecting Angelica, so.
Is this really an uncommon answer?
I mean,
like, 'cause my dad is even more vocal about this. Like when I'm watching.
Really?
Yeah, when I'm watching, sometimes if I'm like rewatching old shows and I'm watching Rugrats, my dad will be like, "God, Angelica is such a bitch." God.
I mean, I
Even though I was rewatching Rugrats with like my friends,
Uh-huh.
and like whenever Angelica's on screen, we're like, oh, and we roll our eyes.
Oh, this bitch again.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, every time I ask these questions, it's always a different answer from different people. I genuinely was just not expecting, like, I think it's because it's been so long and I haven't asked this question in a while.
Yeah.
I have not heard anyone say Angelica.
If the interviewee may become the interviewer for a second, what would you say is the most outrageous answer to this question?
The most outrageous?
Yes, the one that we're like, wow, I can't believe it.
So, funny thing, this question's one, like, I've updated the roster of my questions before. This is one of the newer questions, so I haven't had a chance to really feel out. I think I've had, like, one person say they just don't hate anyone. I'm genuinely trying to think of, like, anyone. I think one answer I got was, like, someone said they didn't hate them, but they were scared of them, I think. So that translates to, like, this would be my answer then for that one.
I see.
Interesting. I mean, honestly, like, I have my own answer for this question, which is Emperor Pilaf from fucking Dragon Ball. I fucking despise him, and every time I see him on the screen, I hate him.
Interesting.
I honestly there's a lot of characters from the original Dragon Ball series I really don't like, but Emperor Pilaf takes the fucking cake. I cannot stand that fucker. I have debated about buying a plushie of him so I can like sink him in milk and abuse it, essentially.
Oh my god.
I do not like Emperor Pilaf. He is so fucking annoying. I hate that little blue man so much.
You know, that's the funny thing. I don't find, like, I mean, there are characters that I find kind of grating.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd go as far as to, like, get a doll of Angelica Pickles and, like, soak her in milk and beat her up. I feel that's a little excessive. My energy could be spent on other things.
Well, no, but, like, how I see is, like, if I'm angry about something, I need to relieve stress, then I have a stress toy, essentially. That's how I see. That's how much I hate Emperor Pilaf.
I see.
It was the same. It's like, if Emperor Pilaf had, like, 10 haters, I'm one of them. If Emperor Pilaf had 5 haters, I'm one of them. If Emperor Pilaf had 1 hater, I'm that hater. If Emperor Pilaf had 0 haters, I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I would say I'm probably the #1 Emperor Pilaf hater. Like, do you know the character I'm talking about, just real quick?
Unfortunately, no. I gotta...
Hold on. I can show you him. Hold on. Emperor...
Oh, this guy,
yeah.
He looks like a fucker, yeah, I can see
He's
that.
so annoying! And, like, he has, like, 2 henchmen. You'll see, like, when you look at images of him, he has, like, 2 henchmen named, like, Mai and, I forget the dog's name, but he's fine.
Yeah. Like, I know Mai shows up later, doesn't she? Like, doesn't she have a crush on someone or something?
So, it's really weird. I've not finished watching Dragon Ball. Like I said, I'm only at, like, one part of the saga. But I know about it. So, these 2 characters, these 3 characters, Emperor Pilaf, Mai, and the dog. I think his name is Chow, I want to say. I don't remember what the dog's name. Emperor Pilaf, are you so valid? Thank you. But, no, these 3 characters were,
Shu.
like... Yeah, Shu, that's his name, Shu.
Shu.
They were, like, the 3, like, main villains of the original Dragon Ball series when Goku was, like, a kid. They were actually the ones that revived, like, Piccolo, actually.
I see.
So, because, like, because Piccolo before was, like
a villain.
He was a villain, but the thing is, he was, like, a completely different character. Like, the Piccolo we see now is kind of, like, the son of the original Piccolo, essentially. Because, like, the original Piccolo gave birth. Yeah, he spat out an egg. He spits out eggs, which is really weird. But they're responsible for, like, Piccolo being alive and also causing a lot of issues. They're, like, Mai and Shu are kind of like Jesse and James, where they're charming and I like them. But then there's fucking Pilaf, which is like, Shu and Mai, you're being annoying.
I see.
Shu and Mai, go do your dirty work while I sit here and ponder my orb.
See, the funny thing is, like, the relationship for me between Emperor Pilaf Maya Chu, the way you're describing it, is very similar to how Angelica Pickles treats the babies in Rugrats. Like, she's like, hey, you dumb baby, get over here. We're going to play a game. You're going to participate. If you don't like it, tough shit. You're going to do it. No, she wouldn't say something like that, but she'd say something similar to it.
She basically says that. But
yeah, basically Angelica wakes up, points at Tommy Pickles, and goes like, I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm right, you're wrong.
That's basically Apeofthehour to like his literally two henchmen who are like the way superior characters to him. He's so fucking annoying.
See, you get it. You get it.
I
In
get
other words, you could say that Emperor Pilaf is the mentality of a 3-year-old girl.
You know what? That's a perspective I never thought I would see in it, and thank you for putting that perspective.
Now you know.
Now,
you know.
maybe and the thing is, I probably don't understand your hatred for Angelica's because I actually never grew up on Rugrats. I was very adamant as a kid to not watch like baby shows, quote unquote.
It's a very fun show, and the thing is, like, the kids are so imaginative, they make it quite fun. And as an adult, when you watch it, there's a lot of humor that you didn't get that you pick up later. Like as a kid, I loved what the babies did, but as an adult, I really love what their parents are doing. Like Stu and Drew had to get eggs for something, and Drew is just like, "Hey, Stu, did you get a dozen eggs?" He's like, "Nah, I gotta grow." So he's like, "Stu, that's 144 eggs." And they spend the rest of the episode like cracking eggs and putting them in a bowl.
That's 144 eggs.
Or like Chucky's dad, Charles, gets really rich, and Drew wants to take his money and invest it in like some sort of like dental thing. Or like no, it was a ear whiz like thing. It was like an ear cleaner. And he's like, hey, there's been a slight reversal. And Charles is like, reversal? He's like, yeah, apparently the earwiz doesn't work as effectively as we thought. The company that made it kind of went bankrupt. He's like, Drew, how much of my money did you invest in this cockamamie scheme? He's like, about half. What? He's like, just kidding. He's like, oh. He's like, actually, I invested all of it. He's like, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Things like that. But anyway, character hatred.
It's been established. You just hate Angelica. Maybe I need to sit down. Maybe I need to sit down and watch like Rugrats, because again, I've not watched Rugrats myself personally.
It's a fun show.
It just looks charming to me now. As a kid, I was just like, ew, I'm not a baby. I don't watch baby shows. That was my mindset. I was too busy watching, like, what did I watch as, like, a kid? I was watching, like shows with, like, more animals in it. Like, the Wonder Pets. Or, like, Zaboomafoo.
Me and you and Zaboomafoo. Fun fact. The guy that sings that part, or those lyrics of the theme song for Zaboomafoo, is actually the same singing voice as Donkey Kong in the Donkey Kong TV series.
Really?
Yeah, so the same guy that does Me and You and Zaboomafoo is the same guy that sings I Don't Know What's Happening to Me. You know.
That's really interesting. I did not know that.
Now you know. Fun fact. One more brain cell.
I'm inching closer to Mojo Jojo status.
Yeah, there you go. You're busting out the helmet.
All right. Well, let's move on from hatred to being traumatized.
Okay.
What piece of media traumatized you as a kid, and does it still haunt you to your dreams to this day?
Rugrats.
Okay, back to Rugrats.
Yeah, back to Rugrats. Early Rugrats actually, like, tapped into some, like, Freudian ass shit. Like, it, like, got, like, really, like, psychological. And as a kid, I think that, like, really had an impact on me. Like, there are instances where, like nightmares were very vividly illustrated, Or there's an episode where Tommy is his parents want to wean him off of bottles, and instead get him onto sippy cups. And he doesn't want it, so he has a nightmare where there's this sippy cup running around chasing him, going, "Drink me, drink me." Or there's an incident where Charles, again Chucky's dad, is like having a nightmare, and he enters his home and he sees Stu Pickles, Tommy's dad. And he says, "Oh, Stu, I didn't realize you were here." And he's like, "I'm not Stu." And he's like a big clown nose. There's an incident. There's a very vivid, a very, very like traumatizing episode where Angelica is like very much. Do you know the idea of dethronement when it comes to like sibling psychology?
No, please enlighten me.
All right, dethronement is where a older sibling feels inferior because their parents had a new child, and now that child is receiving all of their parents' attention, that they feel kind of like left in the dust.
So kind of like a glass child effect?
Yeah, kind of that sort of thing.
Okay.
Well, there's an episode of Rugrats that illustrates that quite well, because Angelica, I believe their parents believe another baby is on the way, or they want another child, and Angelica has this very vivid nightmare of a baby brother who's like disgusting. He's like huge, he's bald, he like slobbers everything, and in the end he like turns into a giant monster and he eats Angelica. Like in the movie, kind of. Oh yeah, the Rugrats movie. Tommy has a baby brother, Dill, and they reenact like Cain and Abel. Like there's a scene where like Tommy's literally about to kill Dill in like cold blood. Like he has like a jar of like baby food, like a full jar of baby food, and he like holds it over his head while he's like holding down Dill, like about to like bash his head. It's like it gets intense. There's another episode. I'm sorry, I'm going on.
No, keep going. No,
there's another episode where Drew, Angelica's dad, has this dream that I brought this up before, he's on trial for feeding her broccoli in like a full court of law, and they ruled that he's guilty and that he has to go to prison. And Drew, at the same time, like at the end when they passed the sentencing, Drew was like, "I just wanted to be a good father. I was just trying to feed my daughter something appropriate, something healthy. I was just trying to be a good father." And like, yeah, we heard it all before. And they're like chaining him up. He's like, "I was just being a good father. I was just trying to take care of my kid." And it's like,
oh my god.
I know, right? Electric chair for broccoli.
Is Rugrats like okay? It sounds like a traumatizing show in general.
I think what it's trying to do is like trying to elicit to its audience, which I mean, admittedly, Rugrats was aimed at an older audience. It wasn't aimed at kids. It was aimed at like, maybe like, 8 to 12-year-olds, something along that range. But I think it was for its adult viewers, because what I like about a lot of old like children's media is that it was also trying to appeal to an older audience, because the idea was that parents would watch the shows with their kids, so the parents would get something out of it along with the kids, so they add in a lot of humor and smart stuff like that. I think what it helped, maybe inadvertently, maybe they weren't trying to do this, maybe it was intentional. I like to think it's intentional. They were trying to like elicit the same sort of like intense anxiety and feelings that a kid would have, or a parent would have, around certain subjects,
Mm-hmm.
like for a parent having another kid, it's like, oh, big deal, you have a brother or sister or whatever, you have a sibling. But for an older child, that me like, are my parents not gonna love me anymore?
Mm-hmm.
It's that sort of thing. So I think it was like trying to replicate those feelings, and in a way, um, maybe have people connect more with being a kid, trying to understand that sort of thing, while at the same time being wildly entertained.
Mm-hmm. That's. I always thought that Rugrats was made for kids. Again, I've never watched it, so I don't know like the
Hmm.
contents of it. So I always thought it was like looks like for kids, has kids in it, is made
Hmm.
for kids.
I mean, there were like things like there was an episode because there were. I mean, it is made for kids,
Right.
but they do try to make it entertaining for adults as well, so that the parents don't get bored.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're sitting in front of a TV watching
Mm-hmm.
Coco Melon singing "The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round." Uh, but there are like jokes that nowadays I quote from Rugrats continuously. Like there was an episode where they were going camping, and the adults said, "Hey, watch out for Sasquatch," and the kids misheard it as Satchmo,
Okay.
which is a slang term for it's a nickname for Louis Armstrong, the trumpet player. And so when the kids are like trying to tell their parents, they're like, "Hey, we gotta run. There may be Satchmo," and they're like, "The trumpet player." And they're like, "No, the monster." I'm like, "Oh, Sasquatch. Okay."
Oh, Sasquatch. Okay.
Yeah, oh, Sasquatch. Okay.
uh, may,
One
maybe I
moment.
should. Oh yeah, go take your time. Oh my goodness. I hope chat's having a good day today. I know it's been a while since I had these episodes. I hope you're being entertained as much as I am.
Oh, I know I'm being very entertained. Sorry. I just had to chat with someone real quick. Anywho, you were saying?
No, you're good. I was just about to say that like maybe I need to like sit down and watch Rugrats myself because like I know nothing, but from what you're telling me,
Hmm.
it sounds like there's a lot more to it than what I thought.
Yes, I'd say so.
Ah,
I'd say I'd say I think you'd enjoy it. I know I enjoyed it. I remember rewatching it quite a bit. When I think it was like a year or two ago. I had friends over and we decided to rewatch a ton of Rugrats. I will say, Rugrats All Grown Up.
mm-hmm.
I am on the fence about. I don't like. They didn't really keep the same sort of humor. They made it very much like, I don't know. They made it kind of like a teen drama, but
Mm-hmm.
which at the time when watching it, I wasn't into. So I don't know.
No, that's fair.
Hmm.
Uh Again, the Mojo Jojo brain is like expanding.
It's expanding.
uh
That you can feel your brain wrinkling.
I can feel the extra wrinkles are coming out. Oh my goodness. Moving on from traumatized, let's move on to romance. Your first fictional
Okay.
crush as a kid, and does that crush still linger to this day?
Um, I'm gonna embarrass myself. Well, maybe not.
Go.
This
It's
is gonna
okay.
be
Be
so
brave.
silly. No. Um, the Celery Sisters, from Pajama Sam 3. You are what you eat from your head to your feet. Uh,
Do you have like an image of
very,
them?
very deep cut. Let me go find the Celery Sisters.
I have
Because
no
it's
idea who those are.
it's a so. Do you know about Pajama Sam?
I've, I've actually never heard of Pajama Sam.
So Pajama Sam is a point and click kids adventure game.
Uh-huh.
Um, where you play as a character named Sam
Mm-hmm.
who's in his pajamas, but he
Naturally.
acts like a superhero.
Okay.
His favorite superhero is Pajama Man.
Paj-
Yeah, Pajama Man.
uh-huh.
And he goes on like these different adventures, and in the end he learns some sort of moral or something like that. Largely, it's like either like overcoming some fear or like learning about like in this game it's about like learning how to eat healthily.
Okay.
Because the beginning of the game, Sam is like chowing down on a box of chocolate chip cookies.
That's the way to go.
Exactly. But he goes on like this adventure where either he goes in the first game he goes into his closet, the second game he goes into the attic, and in the third game he goes into the pantry of his house. And when he enters these spaces, they become like these fantastical like lands where there are living creatures. It's like, you know, very much like child's imagination. And in Pajama Sam 3, he runs into a lot of characters who are based on foods. So like there's your main friend is this not celery. Your main friend is this piece of broccoli named Florette. There's a guy that's from previous games who's just a carrot, and his name is Carrot. There's a donut that's an animate donut named Sprinkle that you ride on like a raft through some like water. There are different delegates like Granny Smythe, who's an apple.
Granny Smith,
Pierre Lapin, who's a loaf of bread. I'm trying to think of some other ones. There's Florette, and then Chuck Cheddar, who's a piece of cheese. You know, things like that. But you encounter these two characters, named the Celery Sisters. I'm trying to remember their names. Selma and Selena Celery. That's it.
Do you have like
Yeah, I linked you the image. So they look like this. Selma is on the left. Selena's on the right. Selma is like very like prim and proper, and she like. You learn etiquette from her, like how, like where forks are placed, where napkins are put. And Selena is her like wilder sister. She is more into like dance, and she gives you dancing lessons, or she teaches dancing lessons to others.
They give me very heavy. It doesn't help that the one their name is literally Selma, like from The Simpsons, like Marge's sisters.
Yeah.
They give me those kind of vibes.
Oh God, no, they're not smokers. Like Selma sounds like this, and Selena sounds like this. They're like very like, they're like kind of exuberant.
So these two fine ladies had your eye?
Yeah, I guess. As a kid, I really liked them. And I replayed stages of the game just for them.
You sound like so ashamed about it.
I mean, Tim, they're pieces of celery.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it inspired me to eat healthily. I mean, I do like celery, but
I mean, like
eat a woman who's green and a vegetable.
I mean, everyone's had like an embarrassing like crush.
I mean, I like them. There's another game by the same company that made Pajama Sam. The company's called Humongous, but they had another game very similar. It's a point-and-click adventure game called Spy Fox. And I really liked Monkey Penny.
Monkey Penny?
Monkey Penny. So the main character was Spy Fox. And there was a character named Monkey Penny who was like your assistant. She like gave you like mission debriefings, and she was like in control of the mobile command center and everything. Here, I'll shoot you a picture of her.
Okay.
Here, this is Monkey Penny.
Let me see here. Okay, I mean like. It's different from the asparagus ladies.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she's a monk.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's like we went from like furries. We went from like vegetables to furries. So. Yeah.
I guess so.
I wouldn't say it's much of a downgrade. So I mean, she's very cute.
She's very like.
There we go.
She's not as silly as a Spy Fox, I'll say. She's very much like,
I've never heard of these like point and click games. I'm guessing these were ones that you played a lot. Like point and click games were like.
Yes, I played computer games before I played like console games. Like I played and a lot of them were like point and click games. They were like either edutainment kind of games, like 3D Dinosaur Adventure or 3D Underwater Adventure, or things like that. Or they were like games like this, like Pajama Sam, Spy Fox, Freddy Fish. There's another one that I can't. Oh, Putt Putt.
Oh, Putt Putt. I know Putt Putt. Yeah.
Same company. Those Putt Putt. Those kinds of games. Yeah. I played a lot of those.
A lot of the point and click games that it was primarily point and click games. Have you ever heard of like the series like Jumpstart?
Yes. I played a lot of those too.
Oh, yes. Do you know about like the kind of like MMO style like 3D versions of those games?
I do not.
Oh, I was very obsessed with like Jumpstart. Actually, for a stream, me and one of my friends actually got to pull up the original like Jumpstart games to get to work for a stream. Like, let's see, I think it was Jumpstart like 3rd grade. I'm like pulling it up. It's really weird. They had like a lot of different covers for like the games too. I'm trying like. I'm genuinely trying to find like a better image like of like the characters, because they're like they had like a dog character named like Sam. I think his name was Sam. Oh
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, these are like the NPCs from the game. This kind of looks like this. I don't know if it like jogs your memory.
Kind of. I don't know. When I think Jumpstart, let me go find.
You think of like those like kind of library point and click games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
like, I think
Jumpstart had like a lot of like separate things to its name. Like Jumpstart was like the company essentially, but the main thing was like that they had was like little anthropomorphic like kids, like animal kids like doing out of these.
There was one moment they had like blue hair. I'm trying to remember where it was. Blue hair.
Blue hair.
Where are they? They had like very basic names, like it was Jack and Jill or something like that. But they had like these two blue-haired characters. I remember them. I remember the 3rd grade one because it was like science themed, and you played as like a robot. Yeah, like it looked like this.
Let me see.
I remember these.
Just like full load. Yeah, that's the ones with the different covers that I didn't play actually. My like, let me see like what the cover of mine looks like. Yeah, like mine looks like this. Probably because it was like again like it's the company, and it was like it was called Jumpstart World as well.
Ah, I see. Interesting. This must have been past my time then.
Probably. Probably. I guess I've just only a few people know about this game series, so I always have to bring it up when I can.
Yeah, I played the earlier ones. I know they were fun because you could go around. Like they were like fun little point and click games, which was my bread and butter as a kid.
Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from media, let me pull up my questionnaire. Let's talk about toys. You like toys? You like items? You like things?
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that.
All right, so let me start with the first question. What was your everything toy as a child? A toy you carry around everywhere and you absolutely treasured as a kid?
Oh gosh, what was it? I remember I had I guess this is the one that I remember the longest. I had a Max Payne. Max Steel. Two completely different characters. Max Steel action figure. Well, I should say doll. It was a doll, but I had a Max Steel doll. To those that don't know Max Steel, it was kind of like this like late 90s, early 2000s series about like this spy guy named Max Steel, and he like went to like stop evildoers. Pretty basic plot. But the action figure was big. It was like the size of like a Barbie doll. And he had a ton of accessories. Like he had the one I had, he had like a jetpack with wings that would pop out. I thought that was really cool. But I remember I got it for Christmas and I opened it over at a relative's house and I lost this very crucial piece that attached the jetpack to his back. So I couldn't do it, and I got so upset. But my parents were like, "Here," and so they just put Velcro on his back, and then on the back of the like jetpack, so it still worked.
Oh, do you have like a picture of it by chance, or do you still have it?
I do not still have it. That probably went in like a like a yard sale years ago.
Oh.
Let me see if I can pull up a picture of.
Yeah, I would love to see what it looks like.
Let's see. It looked like there are like modern renditions, like turbocharged Max Steel. I guess he's still popular nowadays. Let me see.
Take your time. Take your time.
I gotta find the exact. I'm trying to find the exact one because there are multiple different figures of him. These are different. I'm trying to let's see. Jetpack. Yes, this was the one. Here he is. And he like came with a like a suit, like a kind of like a jet suit, but it looked like this.
Let me pull that up. Ah, I see.
Yeah, and the wings would pop out like that, and they each had little buttons that shot those like little like plastic bits there. On the side, this is what it looks like unextended.
I'm trying to like get a picture of like the picture of it, but like fucking Discord's doing a thing. He's like, no.
No. You didn't say the magic words.
I'm like going to resend it in the DM so I can like save as a PNG because it's being dumb.
But yeah, I loved that thing. I played with it a lot. But yeah, I think as far as like toys, I had many different toys. I had like I remember as a kid I had a action figure of the wrestler Rey Mysterio. Yes. And I wasn't really into like professional wrestling, but I liked the figures because they were really articulated and stuff like that. And I liked Rey Mysterio because he was a luchador, and I thought lucha was cool. But when I was playing with him once, his leg had broken off, like his right leg. And so instead of trying to reattach it, I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if instead I used some silly putty?
Oh no.
And made him like a symbiote, kind of like Venom like character with this like symbiotic like somewhat like weirdly parasitic organic leg.
Oh my god.
On top of it. I thought it was so neat.
I can't imagine that lasted very long though.
It did not. It got so much hair on.
No.
It got so gross.
It got
so
really
fast.
Gross. Oh no.
Yeah, but I like those. I liked a lot of fidgeting toys. Like I liked yo-yos.
Are you a yo-yo master by chance?
I said I want to be the yo-yo man, but he didn't listen. He just kept on yoing.
He just kept on yoing.
I know some tricks, but I don't know like advanced level, like some of the like blow your mind like yo-yo tricks that some people could do. But I liked yo-yos. I liked as a kid there was this thing called yo-yo ball.
The yo-yo ball?
You haven't heard of yo-yo ball?
I don't know what the yo-yo ball
I remember
is.
that. I remember the advertisement. Yo-yo ball. It's easy and fun, and it's great to do. Because no matter how you throw it, it comes back to you. You can do some tricks. You can do it all. Hey, man, it's a yo-yo ball. And basically what it was a spring-loaded reel that was like colored blue, red, green, or whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
encased in another plastic
Mm-hmm.
like shell that
Right.
had a hole on it with some string that attached to like a ring that you put around your finger, so you would throw it and then it would reach its limit and then retract back to you, so you didn't have to like yank up the yo-yo or anything like that. No matter where you threw it, it would always like come back to your hand.
Uh-huh.
And I thought those were really, I thought that was a lot of fun because it's like, hey, all the fun of a yo-yo with none of the effort.
Oh, no,
Um,
very little effort to it.
but yeah, a lot of those like early, late 2000s like ads. I
Mm-hmm.
had something along those lines, like Hulk hands.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Hulk hands. I can't believe those things still exist today. They are dangerous. I love those. I like sock and boppers.
Oh, yeah, I know those.
Yeah, I had sock and boppers. More fun than a pillow fight. But yeah, I don't know. In terms of toys, they were usually really small.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had a lot of play sets.
Ooh,
Uh,
what kind?
Usually like, uh, not Playmobil.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember Playmobil, but they were like, I don't remember the company, but they were like these little ones with little figures, but they were like these really elaborate things. Like they could be a castle that you have to storm, or I remember specifically there was like a jungle one
Mm-hmm.
that had like snakes and like monkeys and things that you put together, and you know your little figures could go around or climb up and things like that. That was really cool. It was a pain because it took up so much space. But other than that, I remember a time where my bedroom just like the whole floor was like covered in various toys
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, and it was a pain to walk through. I'm like, I had to clean. I didn't clean it up because I wanted to. I cleaned it up out of necessity.
You're just like, no, this is their environment. This is how they're laid out.
Yeah, I know. It was a pain. Fortunately, a lot of those didn't. I don't have anymore. They
Mm-hmm.
probably were like sold in a yard sale or something like
Mm.
that. However, oh, there is actually two toys technically
Mm-hmm.
that I still have. They're plushies.
Oh, okay.
As a kid, I love dinosaurs. As an adult, I adore dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as a kid, I had these two plush um, dinosaurs. One is a Triceratops. The other is a Stegosaurus. Let me see if I can get a picture of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I think it's the Manhattan Toy Company. Let's see. Let's do the steg. Let's do the Triceratops first. Where is he? There he is. Some of these look weird. Oh, here, perfect. I have both. I have a picture of both of them. I had these as a kid.
Me.
These two plushies. And I still have them as an adult. I still have them. Here, let me actually
Yeah, the
send
image
a
is
picture
not pulling
because
up for some
because
reason.
because Discord is being crappy.
Discord hates having fun.
Yeah, I know what's up with that. Here you go. Here's the image. But these two, I had these exact two plushies, and I
Oh!
still have them. The yellow one is named Dino, and the blue one is named Louie.
Oh, they're so cute!
I know.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
I'd play with them. They'd get on all sorts of adventures. I know Louie. There was a part where my older brother was a hellion, and he loved to torment me. And so he took Louis, and we were like eating breakfast. He was like passing him around the table, like throwing him back and forth, and he fell into like some maple syrup.
Oh no!
I know, and it got on him. Luckily, my dad cleaned him up really good, but there's still like one little spot that's like kind of like the felt
Syrupy?
is, Yeah, well, it's not sticky, but the felt kind of like is indented a little bit, like it's flattened a
Oh.
little bit, and
Oh.
that's from when that happened.
Oh no, he has memories to him. You
Exactly.
still have them
Yeah.
both?
Yeah, I still have them both after all these years.
Oh, good. They're so
Yeah,
precious.
I
Oh.
know they're really cute,
Oh, these are probably like the cutest dinosaur plushies I've ever seen.
and they're expensive now.
Really?
Too. Yeah, I went on to eBay to look at them, and like Louis there is like $130.
Oh
They're
my
like
god!
they're like collector's items.
They're just tiny little guys, though.
I know.
That's
I know.
insane.
I know the company that makes them is still around, but I don't believe
They don't make the same ones.
they don't make them like this, and they don't make them like they used to.
Oh my god, they're so cute though. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love it's always such a treat to hear about people's like childhood toys. It's my favorite like stories to hear.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from toys for a bit. What was something you always wanted as a child? You never got it, but being an adult you're able to get it now.
Huh. I'm trying to think. When I was a kid, I always wanted. Trying to think. So I don't think there really was anything in particular. My parents usually were pretty good about that sort of thing. Where it's like, I want it! And they'd be like, okay, here you go. I'm like, great! And then I'd be like, I don't want this anymore.
I don't want it.
My parents have the patience of a saint. But I think I'm trying to think of something specific. I remember there was a point as a kid I really wanted. It's called Video Now. Have you heard of Video Now?
No, what is it?
They're like so archaic by modern standards. Video Now was like this new, like it was like advertised heavily on like Nickelodeon. They were like basically mini portable like media players, but they had their own discs, and on those discs they played shows from different like networks. Like they had Video Now discs that had like 4 or 5 episodes of SpongeBob, or 4 or 5 episodes for like Rocket Power or iCarly, The Amanda Show, or I think they had some Cartoon Network ones like Billy and Mandy. I could be wrong. But you bought this basic little player. The only catch was the first ones were in black and white.
Okay.
So that's how they kept it cheap. It basically was like a mini portable DVD player with special DVDs that had audio, but it only like outputted in black and white. And I remember as a kid, I was like, I really wanted to watch SpongeBob on the go, because we went on really long vacations places. I'm like, I want that. And I begged my parents for it, and they're like, no, we're not getting that. No. I'm like, why not? And then ultimately one year for Christmas I did get it. And then later I think a couple years later, like 1 or 2 years later, my dad got me an actual portable DVD player. I'm like, okay, that's it. I don't care about this anymore.
I don't want this anymore.
I don't want this anymore. I don't need this anymore. Especially considering like a year after I had got it, they released Video Now discs that did output like color video. I'm like, at that point it was just outdated.
Right.
Like, dang. Well, everybody's living in the 21st century. I'm living in like the 1930s, watching SpongeBob in black and white.
Oh my god.
Ridiculous.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, it's at the time. In retrospect, it was really stupid, but at the time, I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
It was the sickest thing ever.
It was the sickest thing ever.
Oh, that's really cool though. I love toys like that actually.
Yeah. I liked it too. I remember as a kid.
Mhm.
Oh, what also cinched it
Oh yeah.
was I had a Game Boy Advance,
Hmm.
and the Game Boy Advance had video. They had GBA video, which in retrospect put out the worst video quality you could possibly imagine.
Oh my goodness.
But it was in color, and it was on a Game Boy Advance,
Hmm.
so it was like super duper portable, and I could take it anywhere, and then I could just watch SpongeBob wherever I wanted.
Wherever you went,
And,
you could see SpongeBob.
Yeah, it was in color, but it was pixelated.
Hmm. Some sacrifices had to be made.
Exactly, we all have to make sacrifices for SpongeBob.
Oh my god. Well, let me move on to my next question for you then, Abe.
All right.
Was there anything you owned as a kid that soon turned into a collection in your adulthood? If not, what would you have collected?
Actually, yeah, this is a little weird. I mean, nowadays I collect all sorts of things. Like I have a lot of movies, old games. I even collect vinyl records and things like that. But as a kid, I collected bottles, like glass bottles.
Ooh, okay.
Specifically, there was I liked Snapple a lot as a kid, and there was a line of Snapple which exists to this day. I believe it came out recently. It came back recently. It was called Snapple Element.
Okay.
And it was like Snapple in these like very like tall, curvaceous bottles.
Okay.
Well, that's the best way I could describe. Like it came down and then it kind of like turned in almost like half an hourglass or something.
Okay.
But they were these tall, curvy bottles, and they were like very interesting flavors.
Oh.
Like they were Oh, we got a raid.
Cat, hi Cat.
Hi.
Hi Cat, thank you for the raid. Hello Raiders, welcome to the episode of Nostalgic Chatters, first episode of the new year. Yippee!
Yippee!
Thank you, Cat, for the raid. The Bat Queen stays in top fashion. Yes, she does. Cat, what were you? You were just chatting. Were you doing some nail art? Is that what you're doing?
Nice.
I think that's what you were doing. Twitch doesn't like to tell me anything. I hope you had a good stream, though, Cat. Welcome. I am here with my guest, the Ape of the Hour.
Yo.
I was doing some 2025 fashion prediction. Ooh, I should look back at that stream. I love when you talk about fashion, Cat.
Interesting.
But thank you for the raid, Cat. It's very much appreciated. Welcome, Raiders. We are doing an interview here, so I hope you can just sit back and relax and just vibe to us talking.
Yeah, I'm being put on the spot.
Oh, that's one of the new toys.
Rounding the corner.
What? The Shrek princesses.
Let's go.
I have no idea. Could you hear it? Could you hear it?
Like somebody in the
Oh my God, what the hell? Oh my God, punch my mama in the throat, karate kick my daddy in the chest. What the fuck? Oh my God.
Like I said earlier, when you suggested like the more you know star, I told you they got a lot of new toys already.
I guess so.
They have plenty of new toys that I've given them.
Let's see.
So yeah, bottles.
Oh yes.
The curvaceous bottle you're talking about.
I like that's the word you focused on.
Because that was like that's what stood out about the way you described it. Like,
well, they were curvy. Like they were like ball. Let me just show you a bottle of it.
Oh yeah, show me an image.
Snapple Elements. Oh God, because they have the newer bottles. Newer bottles suck. They don't look cool, and they're made of plastic. It's doo doo.
It's made of plastic.
This is gross. I don't like it. But here you go. This is what the bottles looked like.
All right.
They looked like this. And this is Meteor. And they were always in like really interesting flavors. Like, this
I
one
would not
is...
call this curvaceous. I'll just say that.
It's curvy, kind of.
I would not personally call it curvy.
I mean, it like kind of goes in and then out.
Hold on, chat. Would you call this bottle curvaceous?
Hey, don't put me on the spot, you know.
You're being nothing but put on the spot right now.
I don't like it. But anyway, they had interesting flavors. Like this one is Meteor is like Tangelo.
Oh.
They had ones like Velocity, which was like grapefruit cranberry. They had Volcano, which was grape. Voltage, which was citron. Air, which was like peach. And then they had like Spark, which was like mandarin, like orange kind of. They had a lot of interesting flavors, but I really liked the design of the bottles and I liked the graphics on them. Here's another example of what they look like. Here are some other flavors.
I do like the bottles though. They're very nice. I will not shame you for that.
I like the graphics on them. Oh, I know why they were called. They were energy drinks.
These were
like
these ones?
type of. Yeah, they were. Snapple Elements are a type of energy drink.
I would not imagine that.
Yeah, as a kid, I didn't know that. Which in retrospect, I'm like, what the fuck? Why did I drink those? But they had a ton of interesting graphics. They had a ton of interesting flavors and names, and so I'd drink them, and then I'd collect the bottles, and I had a shelf for them to and I went I am the master of all the elements.
I am the master of all the elements. These are your infinity stones right here.
Exactly. Ultimately, I wanted all of them, but I never think I did. At one point, I think, let's see, how old was I? I had these from when I was 7 or 6 until I think until I was probably 20. I had them for a long time. Now, mind you, I cleaned these out, so they weren't grody or anything.
Right, because if you're collecting them, you gotta wash them.
Exactly. But I did have, these kinds of bottles in shelves. And, they were taking up a lot of space. It's a lot of glass. So ultimately, I think I just recycled them. But I remember having them and collecting quite a bit of them.
Do you still have them? Or any of the bottles? No.
They're gone. They're gone for good. I recycled them. I didn't see the value in keeping them around, unfortunately.
Not even one of them?
Not even one of them. I don't think.
Damn.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Would you ever get them again?
I mean, Snapple Elements is still around.
Oh, is it?
Again,
I thought it was an old series.
Well, it was, but they brought it back. But the bottles suck. They're modern Snapple bottles, which
they're plastic, like you said.
They're plastic. And, I mean, technically, I'd say they're even more curvaceous nowadays. But...
What are they looking now? Hold on.
Okay, one moment.
You got
when I say curvy, I mean, they have a certain type of shape to them.
I'm sorry. So I have some friends who, will look at, an object, he's like, damn, that object be looking fine. He's there.
It's not like a straight bottle. It kind of cinches in a little bit and then comes back out. Here's fire.
Okay, well, I see why this one is you would not collect this one because it looks like ass.
Yeah, exactly. The modern ones stink.
Because everyone...
And they're
because of the plastic.
Yeah, and the plastic, I mean, the flavors are the same. It looks like Rain. I remember I liked Rain as a kid. It was agave cactus flavored. And they kept that. That's still around today. And they have Earth, which is I think they said it was atomic grape.
Atomic
something like that. Something like that. It was wild grape. Oh, wait, no, they changed it. Earth here, they have cherry and fig, which is interesting. I don't know about that one, but I loved collecting these as a kid, but I do not have them anymore.
Oh man, that is interesting though. Funny enough, I actually used to collect a lot of glass items too at one point. I don't have any of them now. I still appreciate fine glassware, specifically a lot of alcoholic beverages bottles have some of the nicer bottles I've ever seen. Like,
Well, they gotta sell it. They gotta make it look really nice.
yeah, I think one of my favorite glass bottles of like alcohol that I would only get for the bottle and pour out the alcohol, because actually I can't drink alcohol like at all. Because like I got like something in my head. So
Yeah.
but it's the was it the Dan Aykroyd like crystal glass skull vodka?
Yes, I want that too.
It looks
But
really nice.
I do the same thing. I'd probably do the same thing though, because vodka is gross. But
Yeah. I'm not offended, by the way, don't worry.
yeah, I know. But I'd keep the bottle, because you could put any manner of thing in there. You could fill it with Dr. Pepper. Have a Dr. Pepper skull.
Dr. Pepper skull. Actually, my favorite soda is like green, so the skull would be like
Well, there you go. Fill it with that Beetlejuice
Oh, it's
Fanta.
well, it's not actually the soda I'm talking about is like it's a Russian drink. I actually really like. I don't like little
okay.
fun fact about me. I don't like soda. I don't like a lot of carbonated drinks actually.
I see. Well, that's where you and I differ.
That's always the breaking point with so many people. I don't like soda, but like
It's okay.
my favorite drink that is like kind of soda-y is a Russian drink. That's a tarragon drink. That's what it is.
Ooh, interesting.
I like it a lot. It's also just like generally feels like healthier to drink for me, because it's literally like plants, but it's also it has like a minty taste to it. Hold on, let me go see if I can pull it up, if my mouse will work with me. Let me see if I can pull up like an image of it. Hold on. Tarragon drink. I'm trying to like see if it comes in like in all sorts of bottles, but the one I mostly drink out of is like the party size bottles, because like everyone in my family drinks it. This is what I drink. I'm gonna also pull up an image of it for chat to see.
Ooh, interesting.
I'm sorry that the border is gonna be really wide, chat, by the way, but yeah, this is what I drink. This is the only soda I drink, and that I will only ever drink, because
There you go.
I don't like a lot of sodas, but this is my one exception. So if I were to get like the glass bottle skull head, I would fill it with that.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
It would look cool.
Mm-hmm. That looks like Jell-O.
Yeah, I know. When I think of green sodas, I think of. Let me find it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it.
I've actually never tried the Beetlejuice soda. I don't think I'll ever get the chance to try it now, though.
It's okay. I didn't really like it, to be honest with. It was it's a candy apple flavor, which I love. Apple flavored soda. I like apple as a flavor.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, me too.
Kind of like a sour green apple sort of thing. And I was expecting that with it, but that was not the case. So I was kind of disappointed. But one moment, let me save this. Whenever I think of green sodas, I think of where'd it go? There it is. I think of this. This is Green River. This is a popular soda, kind of near where I'm from.
Oh,
it's a lime flavored.
Ooh, so it's kind of like lemonade-y, kind of.
More like Mountain Dew, but not as weird. If that's not how I can describe it. I don't know. Mountain Dew has a very
lime, so.
Yeah, Mountain Dew has a very weird kind of like artificial flavor. This doesn't feel as artificial. I mean, it's still very sugary. But it is it's good. I like it on occasion. I know it's very popular around St. Patrick's Day because it's a green beverage.
The green beverage. You can't pinch me because I'm drinking green.
Exactly.
That is interesting though. Man, soda, am I right?
Yeah, I know. I could talk about it all the time. There was a time Hibby and I, on his stream, we just chatted for I think a solid like 2.5 hours about potato chips.
What was your favorite? Which ones you didn't like? Get a very deep conversation about it.
Yeah, we were. I'm like, I really like all dressed chips, which are like a Canadian thing. I'm not Canadian myself, but
Okay.
Ruffles did release at one point all dressed chips in the U.S. And Hibby is like, let me tell you. Hibby's like, I love them. They're the best that I've ever had.
I don't think I'm not very experimental with like when like brands come out with like new flavors, like there's Lay's and there's like soda flavors. Like a lot of my other friends are very like experimental. It's like, oh my god, there's like this new like I don't remember. One of my friends is like trying like a bunch of like this one soda brand flavor that keeps coming out, but I don't remember which brand it was. But I'm always such like a plain Jane. I always get like the same things that I always want. I always like get the sour cream and onion chips from Lay's, or if it's like from Ruffles, I'll get like cheddar and sour cream. I'm very plain. I'm very basic. I get what I want. I don't like trying new things.
There's no shame in that. You like what you want.
Yeah,
it's understandable.
There's the part of me wishing like I was more experimental, because then like I could have more of those kind of conversations. Like I said before, I don't even like soda, so a lot of my friends will talk about soda. I'm just like, I don't like soda. I
see. Sour cream and onion is objectively the correct chip.
You see, Necro, this is why you're my mod.
I would disagree, but
this is why I'm tranquilizing you.
In terms of favorite chip flavor, I gotta go with Hibby and I have both a favorite chip flavor, and that's salt and vinegar. I like that kind of like briny flavor.
I don't like salt and vinegar.
or I really like dill pickle.
Okay,
chips. Those are really good.
You really like the acidic ones. I
do. If it doesn't burn my tongue, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
At some point, I have to put the chips down, and that's like the surefire way of going like, okay, I've had enough.
I can eat like salt and vinegar, but it's like I would not. That's not like my first option. Like that is like my fifth or fourth option. Like I like sour cream and onion the most, and then like the plain like normal like Lay's. I like Lay's specifically. I like Lay's like the brand specifically. So like sour cream and onion, normal. Maybe barbecue is like a third option, but that's like teetering. And then like salt and vinegar is like my fourth or like last option. Otherwise, like I don't really like trying other chips. I did try pickled chips once, I think. I think it was like no, it wasn't pickled chips. It was like so like during like one of the last few days of my college, like back in December, they were doing this thing where they were giving out like gift bags, like kind of like little like things like, oh, good luck in your finals. And inside the bags, they had like little trinkets, like pencils, pens, and like even like chip bags. And the one that was in mine was like a Lay's bag of like lime, sort of like it was lime. It definitely had lime in it.
Oh. Yeah, limon. Yeah,
limon. That's what it was. I like ate some of that, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. And I was like trying to fool myself into liking it. It's like, it's okay. Yeah, it's alright. It's got a tang to it. And then like at a certain point, I was like, this is hurting my stomach. I hate this. I'm throwing this out.
Limon is so fun. I do like limon. I think
I can't handle
it's a little too sour for me. Just a tad. But I mean, I like it on occasion. But it's not my first choice. What I really love I love Kettle brand chips. Those are like my favorite.
You like?
They're like the Kettle brand.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you like baked chips or like normal chips?
I mean, I like those too. Like Lay's baked, way better than regular Lay's, in my opinion.
This is where we're differing now.
This is a point of contention.
This is where we're gonna start arguing.
I liked the baked flavor over the traditional fried flavor, but Kettle brand chips they're pretty like fancy in terms of potato chips. They have like ones that are like pink Himalayan salt, or like jalapeno ghost pepper. I don't know, something like that. But they have some. It's pepperoncini. Potato chips. Yeah, pepperoncini. So pepperoncini, you ever eat from like Papa John's or something like that?
I want to say like once.
Once. You know how you open it up and there's like a little pepper in the corner of like the pizza box?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pepperoncini. Those
That's
are
a
like
pepperoncini?
they're like pickled, mild like peppers, something like that. And so these chips were flavored like that, and they were so good. They're
Oh.
so good.
Oh.
I had to stop myself because I would have eaten the whole bag, but they were so delicious.
Man, we're not even at the food questions. I'm already hungry.
I know, right?
Well, moving on from like food temporarily, if you could bring one thing from your childhood and bring it into this modern day and age, what would it be? It could be anything from old TV shows to discontinued products to anything.
Let's see. What would I want to bring back?
What do you miss the most?
What do I miss the most from when I was a kid? I guess it's a style.
Okay.
I guess you would say. I feel like advertising nowadays is a little too personal. It tries to connect to your personal life a little too much.
Yeah.
I miss like commercials of the 90s and early 2000s where they were just zany. Like where they were they were just like having fun. Like sock and boppers or moon shoes or things like that. I miss like those styles of commercials. Or like those crappy like infomercials like the Betty Crocker big top cupcake maker or something. I don't know. But I like those.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like those styles of commercials. I think I liked because they were like fun, but they didn't take themselves too seriously. I think
The year of fun, one would say.
Exactly. It was like very fun. Like a lot of advertisements nowadays are just like, you love potato chips and you need them in your life. Buy Lay's. Things like that. Or they put in some like TikTok celebrity or something like that to sell potato chips. But or the next thing you know, Ninja is like advertising for Coca-Cola or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I miss things like those, and I also miss. There's one thing I would bring back. I'm trying to think. Is there? Because the thing is, like, the things that I miss from my past are still available. Like, I love like old retro consoles and things like that, but I can still access things like that.
Yeah.
But if there's like, you know what, VHS tapes.
Okay.
Bring back VHS.
Bring them back, yeah.
Bring them back, because I don't know, like analog media like that, like the old fuzzy sort of stuff, has a charm to it all its own. Like I have a collection of VHS tapes. And I watch sometimes I watch them just because I like the aesthetic of it. There's something like cozy about it.
Yeah.
That I really like. I do know there's another streamer who's actually a Twitch partner named Big Nose Bug. You've probably heard of Bug.
I've heard of Bug.
Yeah, Bug does streams of like VHS tapes because she really loves those things too. And I know she mentioned there's quite a few companies nowadays that are re-releasing like modern movies on VHS. Like there's one called Valishard that she mentions a lot, that they have like movies like Coraline, Paranorman, a lot of like newer movies like on VHS. But there's another one that I found recently called Witter, Witter, Witter. Yeah, Witter.
Okay.
And they reproduce a lot of modern horror movies on VHS, like things like Terrifier, Wally's Wonderland, Psycho Gorman, Mandy. A lot of movies that I find with Nicolas Cage in it. It's kind of interesting.
I love Willy's Wonderland so much.
I do too. And now you can watch it at home on VHS.
Oh my god, I would love to. I have Ape. I am like probably I am one of the biggest Willy's Wonderlands fan. I have watched that movie like 10 plus times.
It's really fun. It's a really fun movie. I love that movie.
It's so good. It's so good.
And the crazy thing is, Tim, would you believe it? And not many people talk about this. That movie is a Western.
It's a Western?
Is a Western, if you think about it.
Like, what do you mean by like a Western?
So a common Western formula for movies is like some guy out of town, just passing through, comes into a random town that is in conflict, usually with each other. In this case, it's like the animatronics and the townspeople.
Right.
And he has to come in, he has to bring his own brand of justice into the town and settle things out. And that's Willy's Wonderland.
I never thought about, like, you'd be right. No, you'd be right by
there
that.
There are so many Westerns, like Django, I'm trying to think of another one, Fistful of Dollars, even like Akira Kurosawa films like Yojimbo, they follow that sort of pattern, and Willy's Wonderland does that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. One of your chatters says, this attraction ain't big enough for the two of us. It's that sort of thing. I remember watching it, and I'm like, wow, this is really fun. And I'm like, and it's a Western, too, which is kind of crazy to think about.
I have to know, who was your favorite character in Willy's Wonderland?
Unfortunately, it's not Gorilla Gus.
It's not Gus the Gorilla?
It's not Gus the Gorilla, because it's very unfortunate what happened to him.
I mean, I had a feeling it wasn't Gus, because that'd be, like, too predictable. So that's why I gotta ask.
Gorilla greetings!
Gorilla greetings!
I wanted to be friends.
Gets cursed on the urinal.
Yeah, exactly.
That was so
I
cool.
have to say, I like the janitor. I think Nicolas Cage's character. Yeah, I like him the most.
Okay, what about the animatronics, though? You have to pick one of the animatronics.
Trying to think of one.
Do you remember them?
Is it Katie the chameleon? Or what's her name? The chameleon one.
Her name is it's not Katie. It's
some sort of rhyme.
It's Cammy the chameleon.
I think she was my favorite.
Really? She was your favorite?
Yeah, because she was shifty. She was like kind of like she was trickstery. Like she was trying to... She was trying to act nice, and then she would go like, "Ha, you thought. You thought." Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I like
fair.
That. I thought that was cool.
I always get so like shocked because like you're like probably the second person now that I know that likes Cammy the chameleon. I don't know many people who like Cammy. I always expected people to not like Cammy. My favorite is Tito the turtle.
Oh yes, Tito the turtle.
He's so fun. He acts like an anime villain for no reason, and it's the best.
And he was the last one to survive.
He was, and he had like the funniest death.
But yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. Oh no, that's wonderful. I love talking about Willy's literally so much. Oh my god.
And Willy's Wonderland.
I listened to the playlist of that song, of like that movie, so much. But I'm gonna, before I start hyperfixating, what was your favorite thing or place as a kid that's just completely gone now due to the modern age?
Ooh. I think like family like fun places.
Okay.
Like Chuck E. Cheese's, actually, circling back to, Willy's Wonderland. Places like Chuck E. Cheese's, there was this one place that I remember that isn't around anymore, although the building is still there, and it's a huge building, so it's like my childhood lies in ruin. But it was called Odyssey Fun World. And it was like Chuck E. Cheese on crack. It was huge, and they had tons of attractions. Some of them had like rides. It was a lot of fun. I remember that. It had like laser tag. It had animatronics. It had the Rock-afire Explosion, which is like an earlier animatronic show that came out actually before Chuck E. Cheese's. It had a ton of arcade games. It was great, and you know, it was the same sort of thing where, you know, you got tickets and then you'd turn those in to win prizes and things like that.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, I know, but it's not around anymore. Unfortunately, it's a shadow of its former self. I think even at one point they were in talks to implement go-karts, but that never
Really?
happened. And they also had a paintball course at one point for people to play, but that is no more.
Oh, I do agree. I miss like fun places so much. Like Chuck E. Cheese was probably like the last fun place, right? That was probably like literally extinct.
I mean, it's still around,
It's not
but
the same.
it's not the same, and you don't really hear people, like, kids don't care.
They
about
removed the
Chuck E. Cheese's
animatronics
anymore.
They removed the animatronics.
Yeah.
It's like that was like one of the most eye-catching thing, and then they removed like the best part in all locations. It's like, why would you do that? Are you stupid or something?
Exactly. I don't know. The funny thing is, like, I think ultimately I think it behooved them to bring it back, because what's the biggest property, like intellectual property, that kids love nowadays?
I guess just like being on like their phones, like that's about it.
Well, I was gonna say Five
Yeah.
Nights at Freddy's.
That that too, yeah.
I think animatronics are potentially going to make a comeback, because I remember watching the Five Nights at Freddy's movie when it came out, and like all the kids in the audience and getting really excited, like, his name is William Afton, and they're like, I'm like, I think animatronics are going to make a comeback. I think they really are.
I would hope so. Cause like when I was a kid, I was actually never afraid of animatronics. I always were I was more fascinated by them, and my fascination grew from FNAF.
Oh, I was I was terrified of it. As now, not so much, but really as a kid, I was horrified of animatronics. I was also horrified of people in suits. So like people in costumes.
Like costumes?
Like like costumes. So like if I saw Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Daffy, or anything like that, people like in costumes, I'd freak out. I would not want to take pictures with them. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near them. You know, I think when I think back on it as a kid, it's like, I don't know who's inside this suit.
I
don't know what they're capable of. You know, I think of that one quote from The Spy from TF2. One shudders to imagine what lies behind that mask. What decrepit dreams of chronic and sustained cruelty. It's like, they freak me out. It's like I don't see it and go, oh, it's Mickey. I think, oh, it's a guy in a suit. As I was too smart for my own good. Yeah, exactly. Like somebody put the bite of 87. Yeah, I could be
the bite of 87.
I could. Well, I am too young to do that, but it could have been the bite of 97. You never know.
That's so funny because like when I was a kid, I was afraid of like I just unlocked a memory. You know like Spirit Halloween, right?
Yeah.
When I was younger, we had I'm not sure if it was Spirit Halloween. It was way too big to be a Spirit Halloween because it was more like a gymnasium, like Halloween costume store. And when I was like, when I was a kid, I also want to throw this in. I was not afraid of animatronics, but I was scared of Santa. However, my mom has a photo of me somewhere where I was just where I'm crying and trying to get away from Santa. I was scared of Santa as a kid, but I was never afraid of people in suits or animatronics. However, there was one moment where I did get scared by someone in a gorilla suit.
Wow. And that someone
was you.
Was me. I traveled back in time to traumatize you.
The thing is,
and you may ask why. Well, because it was funny.
The thing is, I think the reason why it scared me more, because not only did he like jump scare, us when we literally walked in the store and I was like clinging to my dad crying. He literally like he did the like "ah" thing when he was in the gorilla suit and I started crying. But I think I was extra...
Ooga booga.
Yeah, basically like
Raggle, raggle, fraggle.
I think I got more scared because it was I had watched that one episode from SpongeBob where like literally the guy in like the like gorilla suit was like tormenting Patrick and Sandy and SpongeBob.
Well, you see, George, they're on to us.
Like that whole scene with like the literally literally the live action like gorilla like throwing Patrick around, slamming on the ground, and like
Yeah, exactly.
Sandy's like, oh my god, it's a real gorilla! Like that traumatized me as a kid. I was like, oh my god, gorilla, he's real.
Gorilla. I think what's funny is there was once, I think near me, there was a zoo where a gorilla actually did get out of its enclosure.
Oh my god.
And you know what it just did?
What did it do?
It just sat down and ate grass. That's all it did.
He just wanted to touch grass.
Yeah, exactly. It just sat down like underneath the shade of a tree and was like eating grass until like these
Zookeepers?
Like, zookeepers came and put him back.
Oh my god.
And then the weird horse. It wasn't a horse, it was a zebra. Yeah, the whole scene is like, well, you see, George, they're on to us. And then the zebra comes up. He's like, let's get out of here.
Oh
He starts
god.
riding the zebra.
Oh my god. Well, I'm about to start. Let's go back on the topic of food real quickly.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on school lunches? Did you hate them or did you love them?
They sucked. I did not like them.
Really?
I never liked them. Yeah.
Was there no exception?
I don't. Yeah, I don't think there was. I don't look on it. I mean, I ate it, but you know, I ate it like a car needs gas. I just needed fuel, so I just ate it. But like in retrospect, like school pizza was kind of repulsive. I'm gonna be honest. With
Really?
you.
There was no time where like the pizza was fine, like through elementary school, middle school to high school. No time.
I mean, okay, there was once, but it was in 5th grade, and it's because on Fridays they brought in like Domino's pizza, but but there's none like from like what's that company called, Sodexo or something? I can't remember, but they like were in charge of a ton of school lunches. There was no pizza made by them that I was like really like, oh yeah, this is happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, this is good. This is good shit, brother. I would say probably not.
Damn. Understandable though.
Sorry. Did you have a favorite?
So through most of all of elementary school to most of middle school for me, I had packed lunches, but a little bit into middle school and then forward to high school, I always bought my lunches. I never really like hated them. I think it's because I always got like the same thing and I was very like neutral to it. However, when I got to high school, that's when the good shit really got to me. Like,
interesting.
They had like these like somewhat like spicy curly fries, which were very bitching, like very good. I really like those. I actually always loved the chicken patty sandwiches also. Like, like so to some people they probably didn't like it, but I look, a chicken sandwich is a chicken sandwich to me. I'm not gonna say no to it.
I see. Interesting.
But I will say there's one food I really always hated, which was the fucking pizza boats that my elementary school had.
Yeah.
That was gross. I hated pizza boats.
No pizza boats.
No pizza boats. They were always so like dry and gross, and like the cheese didn't taste like cheese. It tasted like paper.
Yeah. I feel you. That was like all pizza from schools all my life. They tasted like that.
I mean,
I'm trying
to think of like the pizza I had in like high school was fine, and then like middle school, like because I went to separate like schools because I had to move at one point, so it was very different like foods and all that. But I never had an issue with the pizza, honestly. Like normal pizza, normal like triangle pizza, I like that. That was good. Like it had like that perfect amount of meltiness, and then like when the pizza would like kind of be like not dry up, but like more or less like cool down from cooking, and like the meltiness is like that perfect setting of like just melted, but like you can eat it without burning your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing okay?
I'm okay. I don't know, like, for me, like, looking back on it, I'm like, ugh, I don't know. I don't know, Rocky. Well, to each their own.
We can move on to better tasting food with this question. What was your favorite fast food restaurant as a kid, and does it still hold up to your tastes?
Probably, believe it or not, very basic, but I ate a lot of McDonald's.
Fair enough.
I think they were my favorite, and really, they haven't changed, which is both a blessing and a curse.
And very much.
And that wow, they haven't changed. Wow, they haven't changed. But yeah, as a kid, I really liked. I'd get a cheese. I remember distinctly because I had to tell my mom this because I memorized it because I didn't want her to screw it up. I'm like, I want a cheeseburger, plain with just the cheese, French fries, a toy, and a drink. And the drink was usually her choice. Usually it was like orange, like the orange drink, like the orange icy or something like that. But those were like I distinctly remember going like, okay, ape, tell as a little apelet. And my mom would be like, okay, tell him what you want. I'm like, I want a cheeseburger, plain, just cheese, French fries, toys, and a drink. Well, what do you want to drink? I don't know, orange.
Oh, I don't know, orange.
I don't know, orange. All right, that sounds fine.
I like stopped eating McDonald's, honestly, like altogether. I'm so like hit or miss with fast food nowadays. Well, actually, no. That's a lie. Actually, I just remembered Sonic exists, and I do like Sonic.
Yeah. I don't know. Personally, I prefer Shadow, but that's just me.
No, I also prefer Shadow. Wait, I'm talking about the restaurant.
All hail Shadow!
The year of Shadow has passed.
Unfortunately, it seems so. But yeah, I'd feel the same way. I mean, I'll eat McDonald's if I'm in a hurry. But if I'm like going like I wanna enjoy a good meal, I'll probably go somewhere else.
Did you ever just go to McDonald's just for the toy? I gotta know.
Yes. Absolutely. Although I found like as a kid, some of the like brands that they got weren't to my taste. I remember distinctly Wendy's had toys, and they had like Super Mario toys. And I remember I really, really wanted those. And eventually we did go to Wendy's during that time, and I got one. It was like a chain chomp. It was like a pull toy where you pull it, and then it eventually like goes back in, kind of like a drawstring sort of thing. And at the end there was like Mario, so it would swirl around like trying to chase Mario. I thought that was really cool.
I'm trying to like... I remember I was obsessed with the Pokemon toys that they would have. I do not have any of them now. I'm very sad that I don't have any of them now. However, every chance when I go thrifting, if I find a McDonald's Pokemon toy, I will snatch that up immediately.
I do remember having those too. I know there was. Forgive me.
Go ahead.
What's the Pokemon that is like? It's like black, and then it has like a bunch of blue tentacles all over. Is it Tentacruel? I don't remember.
And with black tentacles?
Yeah, it's like kind of like brain shaped.
That's Tentacruel. Tentacruel, yeah.
I think
it looks like a jellyfish.
Yeah, Tentacruel. Let's see. No, not quite. Not quite.
No.
What was it? It was like a Gen 1 Pokemon. I know that distinctly. I need to find a picture.
I think you're talking about Tentacruel then, because if hold on.
I'm looking at pictures of Tentacruel, and this ain't it.
Really?
Yeah, it was like blue. It was blue all over, but it was like kind of like it looked like a brain almost, and it had like eyes, like singular, like two black eyes.
Hold on. You said it was Gen 1? You're sure?
Yes, I believe it was Gen 1. If not Gen 1, it would be Gen 2. It was very early on.
Hold on. Are you thinking about maybe this Pokemon? I can never say its name right, but this one, maybe? If it will load?
Trying to... No.
Or the evolution?
No. That's not it.
What are you thinking of?
One moment. I gotta find a list.
Wait.
I need to see all of them.
You said tentacles? Like...
Tentacle-like. It's not its appendages. It had regular feet, but it had, like, blue all over.
Wait, hold on. I might know which Pokemon. Wait, people are saying Tangela? Was it Tangela?
Let's see. Tangela. Yes!
Oh, is that
yes,
one?
Yes, it was. It was Tangela. Yes, it was Tangela. I remember I had a... surprisingly, I don't believe it was from McDonald's. It was from Burger King.
Yeah, Burger King had the superior toys. I just want to say that real quickly.
Yeah, Burger King had some Pokemon toys, and they had a Tangela top.
Yeah.
Where like you'd like charge it up, like running it against the table, and then you're like vroom, 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 and let it go, and it would spin around. I remember playing with that a lot when I was younger.
Did you know that Burger King at one point had like it was foosball technically, but Burger King had their own like golden Pokemon cards as toys at one point?
Oh yeah, I remember those. Yes, I remember those. Those were really cool looking. I remember my brother.
Are so cool.
Yeah, my brother scoured the earth for them.
Because
I need these.
I actually own one. Because for the longest time, I've always wanted one as a kid, but my mom always said no, because she says, it's not even real gold, why do you need it? I'm just like, but it's Mewtwo. It's so cool.
Exactly.
And the year when I first opened up my, like, art commissions, and I got paid for the first time, the very first thing I bought was the gold Mewtwo card.
Well, there you go.
And I have
it comes full circle.
I, like, have it on display on my table, and I'm just like, yes, my prized possession. Well, moving on from good food, from fast food, I should say. Let's talk about bad food. What was your broccoli? The food you absolutely despise, and do you still hate it, or have you grown?
Yes. I'm trying to think. I did not like... I mean, I wasn't a super picky eater. But I think one food, eggs.
Really?
As a kid, I did not like eggs. I mean, I liked scrambled eggs, but I did not like
boiled eggs.
Like hard-boiled eggs, over easy, sunny side up, poached. I did not like those in any respect. It was a texture thing. I didn't like the kind of like
thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was like I didn't the flavor egg was hit or miss, but like I didn't really like the kind of like rubberiness of eggs.
Of the like the shell.
Yeah, exactly. It felt weird when eating it. Now as I gotten older, that's changed. I like over easy eggs. I think are probably my favorite. But even like nowadays, like hard boiled eggs, I'm like, ooh. I don't know about that.
Ooh, it's kind of ew.
Yeah, it's kind of icky.
Okay. But like you like eggs better now, or is it still like?
Yeah, I'd say so. I like 2 types of eggs now, as opposed to when I was a kid I liked 1.
I mean, hey, upgrades, people.
Exactly. Oh, and I do like omelets too.
Okay. Well, I feel like omelets is like its own thing because there's a lot more to it. So. Yeah. But fair enough. What was your comfort food as a kid? Does it still bring you comfort or otherwise?
Yes. It'd be spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Is there a certain way you like your spaghetti?
This is gonna sound weird. There's a craft brand of spaghetti. It's called like Tangy Italian.
Tangy Italian.
That my mom would make all the time. And it's very easy. You just brown some, ground beef. Add in like a can of tomato sauce, a can of tomato paste, the seasoning packet that comes with the box. And mix that all up, and then you add in your cooked noodles, and you mix it together, and you serve that. And I don't know, there's something about it. It was probably the MSG, but it was really, really good. And even nowadays, when I eat it, I'm like brought back to the times when I was a kid, where I'm like, oh boy, I love spaghetti.
No, that's valid. Very valid.
Yeah. Although probably any of your Italian viewers are probably gonna strangle me if they find out that I like, you like Kraft box spaghetti. I'm like, yeah.
That's
what are you
that's
gonna
how
do
you
about
like
it? Yeah, that's how I like it.
No, that's valid.
I've tried replicating it with like actual like proper ingredients, but I haven't come close. There's just something about it.
I don't know how.
Exactly. And a lot of like spaghetti that I've had, the sauce doesn't really stick to the noodles. It kind of like slides off of it. Well, this it did. So like you got like all the sauce, all the noodles, all the meat. It was good.
I'm trying to think if there's any like craft food that I ever like, because the one rule in my household was like craft food is like banished. Like we are not allowed to eat craft food. My mom hates that shit. She always home cooks her meals. So I can respect you for that, because I have no idea. But if it brings you comfort, then I'm happy for you.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I liked Kraft macaroni and cheese, but now I don't. I don't really.
What changed?
Yeah, I think like the powder that they use it for. Like I get the phrase "don't ask how the sausage is made."
Not really. I've never heard that phrase.
It's the whole idea. Ignorance is bliss. When you find out how something is made, it like can change your perspective on it. In this case, when I ate Kraft macaroni and cheese as a kid, I wasn't in the kitchen necessarily. I was usually like, in the living room or something like that, and I came when, it was dinner time. But as a result, like, I didn't know how it was made. And then when I got older, seeing, you just add this reconstituted cheese powder to milk, I'm like, ugh. No, thank you. It's that sort of thing. It's like, oh no, the illusion has been broken, and for the worse.
And for the worse. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's like, oh god, I don't know about this.
No, that's fair. No, that's valid. Your taste buds grow and change as like we age and all that.
Exactly. Yeah, like I used to hate sour stuff as a kid, but now I love it.
Really?
Yeah, like I didn't like sour candy an awful lot, but now as an adult, it's like the only kind of candy I eat.
I'm waiting for when it'll kick in, when I'll start liking cheese more, because I always fucking hate cheese.
Oh, I love cheese.
I don't mind like cheese in certain situations, like pizza, like melted mozzarella sticks, lasagna. Like melted cheese is fine to me. However, I can't fucking stand like just normal cheese, like sliced, like sandwich meat cheese or like cube cheese. God forbid, get me the hell away from goat cheese. I hate goat cheese so much.
Interesting.
I just don't like normal cheese. I much prefer it like just like normal melted mozzarella. That's just the only exception.
I see. Interesting.
You're learning some things about me. Now your brain is growing.
I'm adding you to my shit list. But I'm joking.
Little do you know, I gave a little thing to your Sprite where you just pointed gun at me.
I won't hesitate, bitch.
Oh my god. Well, we're gonna move on to some personal questions now about nostalgia.
Oh no.
Yeah, better buckle up, Buster.
All right. What do you want to know?
The numbers on the back of your credit card. No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So, do you think nostalgia or having nostalgia is a weakness or empowering as we grow?
It depends. I know that's a very blanket statement.
I mean, like, yeah, go ahead.
I think for some it can be a source of inspiration. Like I think like one thing I love a lot about a lot of like indie games nowadays is a lot of indie games on the market now are from people of my generation that like were passionate about like older games and the games that they played and are now like putting their own spin or doing something with these mechanics or like bringing them back from like such a time of dormancy to where it's like fun and new and refreshing again. There was recently a re-release of this video game series I really like, The Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, and it's so much fun. Like how I got into that game. It came out in 1999, but I got into that game like a couple, like almost a decade ago, and I loved it. And now just seeing everybody like falling in love with it too, I'm like, oh yes. It's so nice to see like, you know, that sort of thing, like where it's a point of inspiration. But then there are some people where it can like be it can be hampering.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh no, it's not as good as it used to be. The 90s were so much better. And it's like they like are totally blindsided to whatever new innovations or, you know, new things are presented in front of them. Like Crackpot Wizard immediately said, Kain Legacy. Back in November, I had a stream event where I played a bunch of the Legacy of Kain games on stream, and Crackpot Wizard was there every single stream. That's probably why. But yeah, I think nostalgia can be a point of inspiration, but in the depending on what the individual does with it, it can also be hampering. It can like prevent people from, you know, seeing something or like, you know, doing anything with it.
That's very fair. It really depends how either someone, depending on like the person or how someone else uses nostalgia, because I've been seeing a lot more recently, because like when I first started the whole podcast thing about like nostalgia chatters and all that, I originally started because I was very much like essentially, like lack of better terms, hooked on the drug of nostalgia. But as I kind of like, I guess like developed, quote unquote, is like lack of better term. I grew. I mature. That's what humans do. We grow and we mature. As like the more like I kind of grow, I'm just kind of like, I don't really need to cling on to a lot of the things, you know, because like that's kind of like I said, like kind of like as I like described here, like they depending on someone uses it, it can either like be abused essentially. But then there's just some things where it's like it's good to cling on to for comfort, but also you can grow out of it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's also nice to look back at it. But yeah, go ahead, sorry.
And then there are people that use it as kind of like a marketing sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, relive your old memories with this, and the product isn't like what you thought it was. Or things may not have aged as gracefully as you would think. Like I know a huge point between Hibby and I is where we stand on games like Donkey Kong 64 and Banjo-Tooie. I adore those games, but I can acknowledge that at the time the development studio that produced them, Rare, was very obsessed with making like these huge games, and as a result, it's not really looked too favorably upon in modern times, because there's like, oh, there's so much backtracking. I have to go here, I have to go there, I have to do this, I have to do that. But, you know, I think as I brought this up in a video of mine on Donkey Kong 64. I think as a kid, because of our conditions as kids, we don't have much responsibilities to do anything, and we have more time to actually engage in the media that we want to. Those sorts of things didn't bother us all that much. I didn't mind backtracking as a kid because I'm like, oh boy, Donkey Kong's on the screen. But but as adults, we have jobs, we have to pay taxes, we have this, we have that, we have to clean our room, we gotta cook dinner. There's all these things like in the way of actually enjoying this text or enjoying this media. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that we should quit our job, not clean up ourselves, but it's like you have to acknowledge the temporal and material aspects of how you lived at the time and how that can influence your work. I still love Donkey Kong 64, even though I can admit it is a slog. It takes a long time to get through that game.
Well, I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, exactly. If I may add about what Time asked, there can be downsides to having nostalgic feeling or connections, also advantages as well. How would you define nostalgia as being bad or misleading? Like, for example, advertisements, media, products, etc. Would there be a line between something that is supposed to catch your attention with nostalgia to sway you in, or something that gives you nostalgia but ultimately makes you aware of what you're consuming? That's a good point.
That's a very good point.
Nostalgia is something that is been used for advertising forever.
For years.
Look how many sequels there are to movies that came out 30 plus years ago. It's like Terminator 27. It's because you weren't tired of the other 20 or so movies before that.
With the way that with certain marketing things, with my knowledge on media and items like toys, for example, Monster High. I love the first generation of Monster High, and as of recently they started remaking the dolls, but in a new generation fashion and all that. And I don't hate it. I like a lot of the dolls. I think they're very pretty and all that. But I can also kind of look at it as I see what you're doing. I see you.
Yeah.
Bringing back because I kind of sat down and looked at this. Ultimately a lot of the stuff we have is kind of brought back, either has been a constant for years, like Pokemon, for example, or Sonic is another example. It's a very long constant of one brand, and you cannot it's one recipe you can't go wrong with. Or they bring back an old recipe but add new things to it to make it more appealing to the current generation. Or they completely rewrite something. For example, I'm trying to think of something that's that was good, that was something in the past, but like SpongeBob, for example, that's been rewritten beyond hell ever since the creator passed away, which rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Steve Hillenburg.
Depending on how someone takes control of something that was once old and make it new, it's kind of depending how someone views it and how someone makes it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
It's a very nostalgia's a very large gray area. I think I feel like nostalgia. Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's a tricky line a tricky rope to walk to, because they're probably the thing is whenever I see stuff from my childhood that's resurfacing, old shows or old games that are resurfacing, I have to ask the question, is this coming up because there are people that are genuinely passionate about this series,
or do they want to make
re-release it, or do they realize that the fan base that they didn't tap into at the time is now adult age and has disposable income?
Yeah.
Things like that. I have to ask those kinds of questions. So, it depends, I guess.
No, yeah. That it's always such a gray area thing.
Yeah.
But moving on to my next question. What was your thing as a kid? Was it art, gaming, writing, or any of the sorts? And how's that hobby or skill developed over the years? And how would you compare it to your younger years?
Science. Science. I loved science as a kid. I wanted to be a scientist. I never ultimately was one, because it's such a broad subject.
No, go ahead.
You can, but yeah, I was like, I wanted to be a scientist. I'm like, well, what kind of scientist? I'm like, I don't care. I just want to be a scientist. Nerd. Yeah, because I like watch shows like Bill Nye, and like those guys seem like they're having fun and they're learning so many things. I'd love to do that. So like as a kid, I was like always like I absorbed so much information, like about planets, dinosaurs, animals, history, um, just a ton of stuff. I was a sponge, and I always sought those sorts of things. In a way, as an adult, I know a lot of people go like, you know what, Abe, you're really smart. You seem to know a lot of things. I'm like, I'm really good at remembering things. But it's like I would say like that has impacted me, and that I do still like learning. I'm still a very curious person. I'm always looking for new information and things like that.
I actually had no idea that you were like invested in science like that. Is there like you said you just wanted to do science, but was there actually any like specific line of science that interested you, like biology or chemistry?
I mean particularly paleontology. Because
Paleontology.
I loved dinosaurs. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool to dig up dinosaurs? And then probably when I got into like middle school, I'm like, maybe I should do something with space. And then when I got into high school, I'm like, maybe I should be a doctor. And then and then ultimately when I got to college, I'm like, I don't know what the hell I want to do.
Maybe I want to do dinosaurs. Maybe I want to do space. Maybe I want to be a doctor. So
exactly.
What did you graduate from college?
Yes.
What did you major in then?
German studies.
Just German studies?
Yes, exactly. Yes, German languages, or the German language, I should say, German language and culture.
Okay,
I got my BA. My bachelor's degree.
I guess like I'm also curious. So like, did like anything like, does your current job that you have now like apply to like your interests like that?
Yes, but I kind of keep my current job a little bit of a secret.
I'm sorry if that was like too much.
It's okay. For all you know, I work at a banana cream pie factory. I work in the quality control division.
Yeah.
And I communicate with our German partners.
Making sure you try all the bananas.
Yeah, exactly. I have to send messages all the time going like, is this to quality? Is this good? How would you change it? And they send me back very detailed notes. So.
I see. Another follow-up. I'm sorry to barge in again. No, you're fine, Ymir.
No.
How much do you say that the media and people are exposed to in your younger years helped you understand the concepts of what you want to pursue in the future? Ooh.
That's a good question.
You can go ahead and answer this one first since you're the guest.
Let's say, how much would you say that the media, people you were exposed to in years, helped you understand concepts of what you wanted to pursue in the future? I guess, like, for me, when I was young, I was exposed to a lot of, like, educational content, so I didn't really see that as, like, a negative. Well, a lot of kids nowadays are like, oh, I hate school, or this is so useless, we're not learning anything. But as a kid, I always loved that sort of thing. So I think really like the early media that I consumed really did have an impact on me in terms of like, being. I think the one of the best things a person can be is curious, as I've mentioned before. Because like if you live in an existence where like I got everything figured out, I have no other questions, I don't want to figure out anything else. I'm like, wow, that's kind of sad. I think that's an important attribute for somebody to say, and I think the things that I consumed as a kid, either directly or even indirectly, influenced me in that. I had brought up in in my video on Donkey Kong 64 is that so many of the names of those levels and things that they added in like sparked my interest because it was like I wanted to learn about jungles, about the Aztec Empire, about fruits, about galleons, about castles and toy factories and things like that. Because they were all like names of the levels. Like it was like Jungle Japes, Angry Aztecs, Frantic Factory, you know, Gloomy Galleon, Fungi Forest, you know, things like that. I'm like, what's fungus? What's a fungi?
What's a fungi?
What's a fun guy? I'm a fun guy. But what do they mean? You know, things like that. So I think, yeah, like those really helped me, I think. Later in life.
Okay. I think
How about you, Tim?
So let me reread the question, actually. How much do you say the media and people exposed to your younger years help you understand the concepts? So, I would say that, like, it's a really hard question to think about, because I genuinely need to think about it, because when I was younger, I had no idea what I wanted to do. There was, like, a point where, like, I remember in, like, kindergarten, it's like, oh, what do you want career day? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I wanted to be a police officer, knowing full well I have no interest in the law. That was, like, when I was a kid. I had no interest or any, like, showing of, like, that. Honestly, like, I've always been the type of person where I just kind of, like, I think of, like, the current now. Like, what do I do today? I don't think about what like, every time I hit with the question, it's like, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? It's like, I don't even see where I am today. Let me think about that, huh? I think
of that clip, Tim, of recent clip of Elmo, where Elmo from Sesame Street, where that lady asks him, "What's your 5-year plan?" And he's like, "5-year plan?" He's like, "Yeah, what do you want to do for the next 5 years?" And he's like, "Elmo doesn't know what he wants to do for the next 5 hours." What do you mean 5-year plan?
That's literally me though, because like,
Yeah.
I just like to focus like currently. I don't really like to think too far ahead in the future, because like that's where my paranoia comes in. If I think too far in the future, if I think too far in the future, I'm gonna think about, oh, am I gonna have kids? Oh my god, am I gonna be a mom? Oh my god, I have to be pregnant. I have to carry kids. Oh my god, everyone I know will die.
You get it.
Exactly.
I'm very much the same way. I can't think about the future too much, or I'm just gonna get really stressed out.
Exactly.
I mean, I plan to a point, and I think it's important to plan at some point. But other times, it's like, you just go with the flow.
Exactly.
I'll take the day as it comes. But you know,
because
that for me, it's very liberating. For people who are like need me for something, it can be very infuriating.
No, yeah.
But you know, that's just how I do it.
In terms of, like, to answer the question about, like, what I wanted to pursue in the future, though, no, yeah, I had no idea as a kid what I wanted to do. I just decided one day I just wanted to start making content and all that. So, that's kind of where I guess I would say, like, YouTubers I watch kind of helped me, like, get that idea, and also, like, being told about streaming and VTubing. And, like, all that, but the rest from there, it was, like, I chose the reins. Like, I was taught how to use the reins of the horse. I got my own horse, though. I don't need their horse. I got my own horse.
Exactly. Yeah, like, even me, like, I mean, I create content on the side, but, you know, I always enjoyed, you know, making stuff. This is just, like, you know, extension of that.
This is one of my favorite questions.
All right.
What would you consider the cringiest thing you did as a kid? And would you do that same cringy thing again, or would you have changed it if you could?
Oh, God. There were a line of toys when I was a kid called Spy Gear. And they were like these cool, kind of like toys, kind of like accessories. They had things like this wallet that you could like actually put money into, but it had like this slide out thing that was like a magnifying glass. It had this one piece that was like an audio recorder that could record like 5 seconds of audio, like all sorts of things. But they had these like cool glasses or kind of like goggles that you would put on that would come down, and they, as soon as you like put down the visor of these glasses, they'd shine like light out, so that they were like flashlights on both sides of your eyes, so you could, whatever you were looking at was illuminated.
Mm-hmm.
I had that, and I had these also from the same company. I had these gloves that were kind of like fiber optic, like mini fiber optic cables that attached from like this wrist light to your fingers, each individual finger and thumb, so you could like shine light using your fingers and things like that. I remember putting that on once at a friend's party, and I'm like, "Fear me, I am Nightcrawler." And I thought I was the shit. I thought I was so cool. I was not. If I did the same thing nowadays, I think I would beat myself. Where did I get off? Yeah, exactly, Nightcrawler.
I am the Nightcrawler.
I am the Nightcrawler, fear me.
Sorry.
I thought it was really cool.
Sorry, NC, Ape is actually the Nightcrawler.
Yeah. I also, like, roared a lot. Like, I tried to imitate a dinosaur as a kid. I got pretty good at it, too. But I could do it no longer. Oh, also, I could imitate, like, a gibbon singing. Like that. I can't do it now. But it was like, whoa, 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 or something like that. When my voice was higher, I could do it better. But I used to do that, and I would go to the zoo and do that at the gibbons that were there to see if they would react. They did not. However, the people around me did. And it was very embarrassing.
I'm very curious, Abe. I've always assumed like from your voice alone, have you ever thought about like delving into voice acting?
Yes. I've gotten that quite a lot. I've gotten a lot of people that are like, Ape, I like your voice. Ape, you'd be good at voice acting. Hey, I really like your voice. And I really should do something with it. But I don't. The thing is, like, I don't know where to start, and I get kind of paralyzed by it. It's like they're like, you should make a reel. I'm like, well, how do I make a reel? Just type up some like scenarios with several voices and then submit that. But I don't know. That doesn't seem very efficient. I overthink it. I think that's my issue. I kind of overthink it. I gotta just,
that's fair. I mean, like, was a little bit of like last year. I started voice acting myself, and I made my own demo reel actually, like by myself. And I mean, it's not. I mean, like, it's all right. Like trying to like getting into it more, but. I mean, I just had to ask because, like, I always assumed, I always see the videos you do of, like, with you in the gorilla suit, and I assume it's like, he's gotta be, like, some sort of actor.
No, that's all from imitation, I think. Well, I mean, how do I say this? I mean, I've never acted in anything necessarily, but I love movies, so I basically kind of, like, synthesized something like
kind of,
that.
like, encapsulate yourself as a movie.
Exactly. I mean, Ape of the Hour is just me in a gorilla costume. That's me as a person. I'm normally very animated when I talk. I'm even using my hands right now as I speak.
No, I'm also very animated too. My mom always says, like, why are you moving around so much? You're not Italian. I'm just like, I'm just animated, Mom.
That's just how I am.
Yeah.
I feel also I like listening to like behind the scenes of voice actors, and it's very comforting to know that they do that too. Like a lot of them go like, yeah, if I'm like recording audio for a fighting game, and if I want to record like the sound of a punch, I need to punch something. Like I got to go like, like something like that.
Yeah.
I have to actually pump my fist or something like that. But yeah, I have considered it, and I maybe this year you may see a reel, an Ape of the Hour reel coming out soon. You never know.
If you need help with that, I can help you.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. I do know I have another friend too, who's in voice acting. I should ask her as well.
I saw Ymir ask another question. If you want to read it, Ape, if you want
Let's
to.
see. Now, if you really wanted to take on voice acting as a passion in the near future, who would you be in for a voice act? Who would be your preferred character to imitate? Ooh. Usually, I know a lot of people cast me as like very gruff characters. Like I know Hibby has this character who's a Yeti, and he was always envisioned me as the voice of that Yeti. Kind of like, and in my mind, I kind of like imagine him kind of like a Winston, like Winston Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's kind of like this. Where it's
Yeah.
like down a little bit, but there's a little bit of chest fry. So it's kind of like in the middle here. And I could see myself doing something like that. What I find so funny is when I hear my friends imitate my voice, because it's one of two things. Either they have a really deep voice, or they sound like the Joker after he ate too much peanut butter. So like they either go like, "Oh, hello, my name's Apeofthehour. It's so nice to meet you," or they're like, "Hello, it's me, Ape of the Hour." You know, things like that.
It's me. It's really funny. I
know.
still have that video that you gave me on Ko-fi of like you throwing the chocolate milk at me.
Yeah, here's some chocolate milk because you epic. That all started, I should tell you, that whole bit started because my friend Mika wanted to redeem for her stream, which, by the way, if nobody knows, Prismaya, cool streamer. She wanted to redeem for her stream. She was like, I want you to offer me chocolate milk. Chalky milk on stream. And I'm like, okay, I will. And I did the rendition of that meme. He was like, hey, I bought you some chalky milk because you epic. Yeah.
I still need to implement my video eventually.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
Just Ape walks on my stream, just, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. I know on Hibby's I'm walking out holding a banana. I'm like, hey buddy, just blowing from Stupid Town. Which is a SpongeBob reference.
I have not seen Hibby's like redeem for that. I need to see that eventually on Hibby's
Yeah, if
stream.
ever you're on Hibby's stream, redeem the thing. It's called Summon Ape.
Summon Ape.
That's what you'll see. What's really funny is when he has me on a guest, and then people redeem that, and then along with it, I'm like, hey buddy, just blowing from Stupid Town.
That's really good. I love that so much. Oh my god. I definitely gotta get your thing pulled up on mine.
There you go.
Well, we are very close to the last few questions.
Okie dokie.
One of the more hard hitter questions. Do you think your past self would be excited or proud of the person you become, or do you think otherwise?
That's a very good question. And one I don't have. No, I'm joking. No, I think, let's see, my younger self, I think, would be okay with the person I'd become. I don't know if I would be overjoyed, because I remember as a kid, there were some teachers that, I didn't like, and there were like some scientists that seemed kind of rude, or things like that. But overall, I think I mean, as a younger kid, I think I'd feel okay with with what I've become. Things like that. But yeah, I'd say so. I'd say it'd be okay. Maybe not thrilled. Maybe you'd be like, oh boy, I had to be an ape on the internet. It'd be like, oh, that's interesting.
You just like we're a monkey? You're just like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, always was.
Wait, we were always a monkey? Always was.
Always was.
Well, going in hand with that question, if you could go back in time, what would you tell your past self?
Chill the fuck out. Calm down. Why are you yelling so much? You freak out way too often. What are you worried about? You know. That's what I'd say. I was a very high-strung child. You know, as much as I loved, like, learning things and it was fun for me, it was also out of necessity. Because I needed to learn things so that I knew not to be afraid of them. But even so, I quarreled, I yelled. My brothers and I got into fights. You know, it was rough. So if I were to go back in time, I'm like, hey, listen, I love you, man, but you need to calm the fuck down. What's going on with you?
The way you're saying is making me laugh. Or just calm the fuck down.
Calm the fuck down. You need like therapy or something. What's going on with you?
Oh my god. Well, Abe, I am at my last question for you for this interview.
Yes.
And this is one of my more important questions. Were you and are you still Team Edward or Team Jacob?
You know, I have a friend who may or may not be watching this. Probably, unfortunately not. But she could be. But if she is, Apple, if you're listening to this, I want you to know I was always Team Edward. I don't know. I think vampires are cooler than werewolves, personally speaking. So I think I was always Team Edward. I was not as into Twilight.
But did you watch the movies, I'm guessing?
I watched the first movie. I didn't really watch anything afterward. I kind of absorbed it via cultural osmosis because, you know, all the girls when I was, you know, a teenager were like, oh my god, Edward, oh my god, Jacob. But, you know, I kind of figured it through that. But I don't know, like, it really didn't get me. It really didn't, you know, click with me necessarily. Because it seemed more Twilight was more interested in the romance aspects, I find, of the characters, which when it came to vampires, I was more interested in the lore.
In the lore.
Like, in the deep vampire lore. I'm like, what's the name of the vampire society in Twilight? It's like the Valkyrie or something like that.
I'm not a Twilight fan funny enough when I ask this question, so I'm not sure.
What the heck? I'm gonna send you the omnibus, the big Twilight. It's gonna be a huge book, and you have to read all of it.
The thing is, the original question. This was a different question as the important question, which was, did you have layup sketchers as a kid?
I did not. Oh wait, yes I did. No, yeah I did. Yeah, I remember those. Yes, I did when I was quite young, but it was like, I think it was like 4, and I had them for a year, and then I got new shoes that were not light up, which was unfortunate. I always switched it to this topic because a friend told me to when I was in the middle of editing my questions, because I like to refresh my question sheet every like 20 episodes now, to keep it new, to keep it fresh. And that's fair.
And like, when I was making like the final question, I was like, guys, what do you think the final question would be? And my friend Ray was like, you should ask if they're Team Edward or Team Jacob. That's pretty nostalgic. I was like, you're so right. And so far, I have not had many Jacobs.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, again, like I prefer vampires.
No, I'm also Team Edward. So
there you go. It all works out.
Well,
our beautiful tinsely boy who shines in the sunlight.
May I ask something else before the night falls upon us? Yes, Ymir, what is it? You may ask your final question. As Ymir is going to be typing, I would like to say, Ape, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course, it was a blast. I enjoyed every bit of it.
I had so much fun. I knew for a fact you were one of the few people, like, I would say we were like acquaintances. We have not like had a chance to like to really talk to one another.
Exactly. I mean, we may have talked a little bit, but not to the extent that we did this evening.
No. Like we're like acquaintances to like just like friends. I would say.
Yeah.
I have a
friends extends hand.
I don't know if there's a time for the last question for me, but I don't want to get too deep into this. I just want to get the both opinions. Life is complicated with things changing second each in everyone's lives, leaving unique situations and opportunities we come across. In your whole life, everything you've done, are you happy with everything you've accomplished? And can you say was the turning points in your life that got you there in the first place? And can you say what the turning points in your life? Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to answer
And that's
first?
all. That's all I'm going to say. Yes. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, I'd say yes. I think I'm happy with where I'm. I mean, the thing is, I could always change my mind. You know, my current career trajectory, how I am, I could say, yeah, I could continue that foreseeably for the future. But then I could go like, you know, maybe I want to lean into this more creative aspect. I'm always averse to the idea of like trying to monetize like my more creative things, because at that point, you know, I have an extra stressor of like, you know, I gotta put this out because I gotta put food on the table.
Yeah.
So it's something I'd like to avoid. I kind of like want to keep it a pure experience, so to speak. But you know, I'd say, yeah, I think, yeah, I'm content with, you know, how my life is going so far. And I think the real turning point, I think, was after college. I think once I was like set loose, so to speak, I felt a lot more comfortable, because, you know, the thing about college is like they do a lot of prep for the, you know, working world, and you don't know what it's going to be like until you're actually there, and then you realize, oh well, this isn't actually that bad. You know, obviously there are things you can fall back upon, but you know, they provide valuable information. But I think, yeah, I am happy. That could change, but I think as now I am content with where I am.
To answer that question myself, I would say I don't really know what to say about my life right now. I know for a fact I can improve on what I have now currently, and I'm trying to work towards improving it. I would say I'm content. I'm happy with like the people in my life, like where I'm sitting right now. I'm pretty happy. Well, no, I'm not happy with how my room looks right now because I've been trying to clean it for the past fucking week.
You and me both, sister. Gotta tidy up my room too.
I'm the type of person where, like, if my environment is not up to, like, me, I can't do anything. I can't work on shit. So I've been trying to organize this place to a more appealing, but it's really fucking hard to do that. But
I imagine so.
I'm figuring it out. That's what I mean. I'm figuring out all my things. So I'm content, but I'm figuring out more.
Yeah.
I would say probably the biggest turning point in my life was, I would say like three big turning points in my life.
Oh, I thought you meant when you were 3 years old. I'm like, wow, that's really young.
I don't even remember what I did when I was 3, honestly. I was an enigma at that age.
But anyway, you were saying there are 3 turning points.
Yeah, I would say there were 3 turning points in my life. The first one was probably when I first started DeviantArt, surprisingly enough, because that's when I really delved into art, especially getting in touch with digital art. That's where, you know, I wouldn't be able to draw like today if I had not been for DeviantArt and getting more interested in art and like digital art and all that. My second turning point would probably be during COVID, because during COVID is when I got really interested in the idea of streaming, and also kind of like developing a brand for myself, developing what it is right now. You know, during COVID, it really gave me time to like think about myself and all that and mature. And then my last turning point were probably when because from that point on, I learned a lot and met so many new people, such great friends, like today, like with Ape. I would not change that personally. I think those are great 3 big turning points in my life that I would not go back and change and lead to my currently content life.
Yeah, I know. Fun fact: Ape of the Hour came about during COVID for me, because a little bit of the deep ape,
the lore,
the hour lore, if you would. I used to make YouTube videos on my YouTube channel under a different name, a name that I'm not going to disclose because
Right.
it is a secret now.
Yes.
But I used to make joke reviews for like anime and TV shows that I would not watch, but I'd absolutely just tear into them because it was kind of fun. Because I had a friend who really loved Evangelion and insisted it was like the peak of media. It was the best possible show you could ever watch. And I found him to be incredibly annoying. And I just decided one day, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make a video where I review Evangelion and just absolutely tear into it. Go like, the show stinks, it sucks. And things like that. I did that a couple times, and when I say a couple, I mean like 10 or 15. And and ultimately during 2020, I had this moment of revelation where I went like, you know what, I'm tired of like these CinemaSin asks, like angry video game nerd type videos where they're trying to trash things. There's an oversaturated edition of those. I don't need to contribute to those. Like, I want to make videos where I like actually do thoughtful reviews, or where I like uplift things that I really enjoy that people may not have heard of or not have tried. And in doing so, I dropped that old persona, which was really just me, now that I think about it. It was me playing another character.
Yeah.
But I dropped that, and I came up with the name Ape of the Hour because it is a line from a song from the Donkey Kong Country TV show. The song's called Nobody's Hero. And I got that name. And I realized, well, when do I really want to start making these videos? Well, COVID happened, and and I was suddenly at home for a long period of time. I was still paid. My job still paid me for some reason. I don't know why, but I felt really lazy, and I need some means to justify, all this free time and getting paid for it. So I'm like, okay, now's the go time. I'm gonna make Ape of the Hour a reality. So I totally rebranded, and here I am.
The story of Ape. You'll love to hear it.
Yeah, it's a fun story, I find.
I find it to be a fun story, and I feel as if my brain has grown the size of Mojo Jojo.
All right, you better fasten that helmet.
I gotta get my helmet on.
Yeah, you don't want anybody poking your brain.
Oh my god. If my keyboard could, thank you, keyboard. Let me give you a shout out, Ape.
Thank you.
If I can, I have to make sure I'm typing it right. Ape of the Hour. So yeah, no, guys, if you have not followed Ape yet, definitely go check him out. His streams are very cozy to sit in and watch him play some retro games. Definitely check him out. Thank you, Ape, again for being here with me today.
Of course, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed our conversation.
Oh, I'm glad. I love doing this. I miss doing this, and I'm so glad we had the chance to do this today.
And I'm glad to say the tranquilizers have finally worn off.
And now you're gonna try to escape.
And now I'm free. You're never gonna see me again.
Crazy. Chat, I am going to send you guys off to Senari's chat. Sen is currently playing a game. If I can see, if I can
Take a little peek.
Take a little peek as to what Sen is doing, and of course, chat, do not forget our raid message: Rare Chuck E. Cheese showroom chair, 90 space, 3 HTF.
Interesting raid phrase.
I mean, if it's not interesting, then what's the point?
That is true. I need to come up with one.
For my chat tomorrow I will be, I think I'm sewing tomorrow. I'm gonna be sewing another bunny.
Ooh.
So if you guys want to be there for that and just vibe with me, I will be doing that tomorrow. Ape, again, thank you so much for being here with me today. I had so much fun.
It was good. It was good.
In the meantime, thank you everyone. Make sure to check out Ape, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.